Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee from All Ends Media, and this is Plan and Traffic, where we talk cars, boats, motorcycles, anything you put gas in, we talk about it. We got the fellas in the chat room, and I'm going to bring everybody in right now. What up, fellas?
Hey, guys.
Lewis.
What's up, Lewis?
Boys.
Hey, Lewis.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yes. Hey, I got some exciting news about the school bus build.
What's that?
Cool.
We have a gang of people coming on January 30th, or actually the 29th, which is Saturday, and that Sunday. So we have people coming from everywhere.
What's the exciting news there, man?
What'd you say?
What's that exciting news?
Oh, that these guys are bringing some tools, man. We're gonna cut our roof off and lift it. So that's what we are. Yeah, and this is Plan and Traffic. Oh, we talk. Who's doubling up? Somebody's watching YouTube. But yeah, Joey, him and his crew's coming. We got Arco and his crew coming, and a couple other people from other shops are all coming to lift this roof. We got a couple sponsors throwing in. It's gonna turn out to be a pretty good event. Terry's coming. We're gonna have a good time, man. It's gonna be a whole bunch of fellas with hammers and duct tape.
Sawzalls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there'll be at least one there that's got a body part missing. We won't say his name. But,
That's terrible.
So what's going on in everybody's life this week? Anything good?
Man, it's just a year-end hustle every year.
Yeah.
Inventory, cleaning the house, hiring people. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of inventory right now myself, and what a cluster. So, end of the year BS.
That's it.
Yes, sir. About to kick off another new one.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this year went by fast.
I had my Dark Cars, which is my biggest dealership. There's over 100 techs there, and 75% of the people were out with COVID.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was a tough week. It was a tough week, and then my Ford dealership was, I don't know. The guy told me they were less than 50% there, and my Honda place was pretty low today. And basically, if I had a shop with 7 people in it, there was only 3 there. So,
oh wow.
Now
it was a pretty hard hit.
Do you know if they got really sick or if they just caught the COVID?
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, around here, it's a stuffy nose and a little bit of a cough type thing.
It's called the flu.
Yeah.
And
Called the cold.
basically, one guy said he had a fever, but everybody else. But unfortunately, the way this chaotic system works, that if you're COVID, you got to have the 10 days. You're off 10 days. So send everybody home. Who needs to
Drink
work?
a half a bottle of NyQuil and you'll be ready to go the next day.
Now, I prefer Granddad's cough syrup, but you can stick with the NyQuil if you want.
This is just politically correct for them.
Yeah, well, it's but like I said, it's kind of amazing, and I don't know where we're going to go with this next year, but we just need to walk on through it.
Yeah, Nelson, you have a lot of employees. How are you looking on people being sick?
Well, there's also the holidays coming up, so we're kind of like seeing people come and go. We employ 35 people, and there'll be days where we're down to 7. I mean, it just means that we got to stay over and work harder, and I mean, it just puts it all back on me because I've got responsibilities, and so we've actually hired 5 people in the last 7 days. So we just gotta fill the holes, or just to heck with people. no call, no show is starting to become a thing, and then they'll show up 3 or 4 days later expecting that to have a job, and I'm like, I don't understand it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
what do you do with that, right?
Yeah.
So you just say, well, we're going to take your benefits away, and you'll be part time, and that's how we're going to make it.
Wow.
So
I don't understand people's mentality. It's just
it's definitely changed. We're
Even-
trying to
even
give
older
more and
people
more
do it.
incentives. And I've even got a bonus if you actually show up and you're on time and you don't leave early. You get $1 an hour bonus.
Wow.
I mean, it's a show up bonus.
That's a shame. You know what? Let me come down there with my laser, with my my dog collar. We'll fix up some folks.
It's funny because this is years and years ago when I worked at the dealership, and Mr. Tischer was an awesome guy, the guy that owned the dealership, and he was a technician and worked his ways up to where he owned the dealership and so forth. But it was funny because every once in a while, Mr. Tischer would be standing down by the time clock. And all he asked, he wanted everybody there 15 minutes before work, dressed and ready, And, of course, I was always there way earlier than that. I have a problem with working, and I haven't figured out how to stop that problem. But going along the line, I go down there and punch in, and Mr. Tischer would say, "Thank you very much," and hand you a $100 bill.
Whoa.
And I always thought that was funny because when everybody caught on to that, the next day, everybody was there bright and early and waiting. And they're like, well, where is he? And I was like, he kept you on your toes because you just never knew when he was going to show up. Mm-hmm. And, luckily, every time he showed up early, I was there. So it was always good. But, again, you can, these people are, like I said, are crazy today. Unless there's big money involved somehow, and they still even want more. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. Get them to work.
It's absolutely crazy.
Well, what I'm finding is everybody's. I've got high school students with no trades behind them. They've worked at McDonald's and they're looking for $31 an hour.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting there going, look, this is how we do things. This is where you start. And when I get there, they'll stand at a lathe machine and text all day. They won't do anything. And we just have to dismiss them. I mean, it's, I'm paying you for a trade. I'm going to trade you dollars for effort and to train work ethic.
That's what people don't get.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're trying to give more and more back, and we're trying to give profit sharing to our people. We got 401k. We'll match 6%. We got a hell of benefits. I mean,
man, can I sign up?
Come on down, man. Seriously. I mean, it's like, I don't know, almost half my crew is female. And some single moms, and we got guys ranging from 20 years old to 68 years old.
Wow.
So, I mean, my daughter, she's in there. She's running a 110-ton press. She's in there. She built over 200 stators today in about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And, she went through the races. She did all the bearings. She did all the springs and put the snap ring back on.
Wow.
She put everything in. I mean, she's 8 years old.
Daughter is going to take over the world.
Well, she just wants to be involved with everybody, and that's and doing something. And with her MIG welds and stuff, I think it's pretty awesome. So, if we just had more people that would engage people and just do the job, just do it, and I think it would be 10 times better off. I mean, you can procrastinate all you want, but at the end of the day, you still got to get the work done.
Yep. Well, like I said, and I always go back to this, and I get tired of it, but unfortunately, it comes down to this, and this is the problem. If we can get rid of this, it'll be better. So, Everybody's worried about somebody else making more money, or they did this or they did that, instead of just taking care of their own business.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, Nora's a pistol. I love listening to her, and I'm gonna have to get a goodie bag for her and send her, because she's
she's amazing.
That's awesome. And at least somebody's gonna be able to take over for you. So
yeah.
Just keep her away from boys. That's what I tell my girls. To stay away from boys and you'll be fine. But oh well.
Yep. We've already set down the law, and she's agreed to 30 years old before she dates.
You're lucky
I'm a
for
lot
that.
more wiser than that, but hey, we're going to stick with that for now.
Good luck.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought I had the same worked out until the first one came around. Ugh. Oh, well.
I think it always starts out that way, but never ends up that way.
I don't know.
So, yeah, wishful thinking. But anyway. Yeah,
So, John, how you making out on your project?
I went yesterday and bought sheet metal for the floors and the rear transmission tunnel that I got to make. And I bought a sheet of anodized black aluminum so I can do the trunk area and the fills in front of the tubs and the rear firewall. So I'm ready for tin work, brother.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you riveting or welding?
The steel will get welded in, and the aluminum gets put together with little machine screws. Some of the stuff gets riveted, like the tubs to the frame. There are certain areas where you get riveted, but for the majority of the tin work, everything is put together with little stainless steel button head screws. That way it's easily removable.
Do you use silicone in between, or to seal, or anything? Just
let it squeak.
Let it squeak.
Yeah.
I just ordered some 3M seam sealer.
Good stuff.
All the bus guys are saying it's good stuff. So
yep, it's awesome stuff.
Yep.
Is that the 2-piece stuff? Or is that the double tube or the single?
I bought both. I bought one with the double tube and then one with the regular.
Yeah, right. that double stuff is awesome. That stuff is incredible stuff.
The double tube, the hardener and the piece is what we'll use to actually seal the tub to the quarter panel. That way there's no movement there, but it has got a little bit of flexibility in case you get into tire shake. I don't expect that to happen with this car because this one's a driver. It's not a race car. So it'll be all right. And then the other thing is you're not even going to see the tin work inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm replicating the original car, from the firewall all the way to the rear window is going to be like a medium blue cut pile carpet.
Nice.
So that'll keep it nice and quiet inside. So you'll see the tin work in the trunk area when you open up the trunk and under the car. But and then everything else that's under the car is actually going to be coated with that the bed liner spray.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go real coarse with that, or are you just going to go with the lighter?
Kind of like a medium sort of orange peel on it, enough that I like to mirror image the way GMC did the bed in my truck.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures as you step through this thing?
Oh, I've been taking photos and posting them up on Instagram since I started. Yeah. And it also transfers over to the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you I'm looking at your car and you're like doing just a whole bunch of frame and a whole bunch of stuff to it. What gets you to the point where you say I'm gonna just do everything? Like, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like I wouldn't.
Only thing I don't do is body work and paint.
Yeah.
That's it. I never bothered to. I mean, I know how to do fiberglass work and carbon fiber. I can modify stuff and fix stuff, but I don't bust out the gun, other than painting the chassis and the roll cage.
Mhm.
I have a really good DeVille Bliss gun for that stuff.
Okay.
And I will do that. I will sand the whole thing down and prime it, seal it, prime it, and then paint it. And when it goes to the body shop, then the body guy will do what he's got to do and mask off, the window areas and everything and paint the whole car. And then when the car comes back to me, it gets assembled, gets plumbed, it gets wired, gets tuned, ready to go. So yeah, I do all the mechanical stuff and the fabricating, but body, I'm not set up to do body work. I'm in my
dirty.
garage. You don't want that stuff in the garage.
Yeah, dirty.
So I send it to a guy that's just absolutely awesome in terms of laying out paint, And this is the kind of guy, he paints your car and then he puts it away for 30 days. You don't get it back.
Let it harden.
He let it harden before he even starts to wet sand and cut and buff. So it's one of those. He's one of those guys. He's a real stickler for that kind of stuff. It's like, nope, car goes up on the lift. Call me in 30 days.
Yeah, that's his work going out. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he's awesome.
Arco's coming when he's going to come help me on the roof of the bus, and he's going to fix my roof on the Cadillac.
Cool.
Yep.
That'll be pretty cool.
The Cadillac had a dent from what? A tree falling on it or something?
Yeah.
Where you don't know. That's what you think, right?
Yeah, it's dented up like in 4 or 5 different places.
That was an angry girlfriend with a baseball bat.
It might have been. You never know, man. Women. Why they got to mess with your car, man? They can't throw your shoes out in the lake or something. They got to mess with your car.
Damn right.
We had one that guy had his 40 Ford in the garage, and somebody threw a Molotov cocktail through his window, burned up the car.
Oh my god!
He's like, I think I know who it is, but
I don't think that'd go very well with my Morgan. So.
Jeez.
No, it wouldn't.
Oh man.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a gift card for Christmas, and guess what I went and got?
Hey.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Man, I was at Lowe's. Man, this thing is sweet. I can't believe I haven't got them earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm running around the house like a little kid. I might go buy a couple more, man. I'm telling you, I used it like 3 days straight. Like I just kept it on my neck.
Yep. You'll forget you're wearing it. You'll be walking around in the grocery store, people looking at you like, what the F?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Shoot.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool.
I always keep a flashlight in my pocket, and I use it a lot. But man, this thing here, great.
Wait till you be driving the bus and everybody looking at you.
Hey, I don't care as long as I can see. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of these to sit next to my cheaters. Where my cheaters at?
Cheaters?
Yeah, I got cheaters everywhere.
I got cheaters everywhere too. I got them all over the house. I got them in the shop.
Yeah.
I got them in my helmet.
Yeah, that's my next thing. I'm gonna get that insert for my welding helmet.
Yeah, you should get some cheater inserts.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Two O's.
2 O's? Yeah, I got a handful and floating. I got some on the tool truck. So
2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're still wearing cheaters under your helmet?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you said
no. I had a 1.5, and with my old helmet, I still couldn't see good.
Yeah.
And I bought, I wore my glasses under there, plus the cheater, and I was like, ay, what a pain in the neck. And then when I bought that brand new Miller helmet with that True View, whatever they call that, I put a 2.0 in there, and it's awesome because I could just leave that hood down, and I can fabricate, when it shuts off automatically and everything's in focus. So I can grind and drill and do whatever I got to do, and then strike an arc and get right to welding. I don't have to mess with anything. And that True View system that they use now, I mean, it's like not wearing a helmet. You see the weld puddle crystal clear in the real color. It's amazing. It shows you my helmet, the Miller one, it shows you the weld puddle in like a bluish white color.
Right.
Like a real, like looking at a white LED bulb.
Yeah.
And it's been just absolutely the most amazing, $250 or $275 I've spent. I'm like, God, I should have bought this thing when it first came out.
Yeah.
It was well worth the investment.
Does the darkness go up to 13?
Yeah, I think it goes up to 15.
Yeah, okay, 15.
It's got a whole electronic panel inside it.
Right,
yeah, you can set
it.
You can set it for MIG. You can set it for TIG. You can set it for grinding.
Yeah,
it's got all of that.
Because a lot of guys,
it even has a setting that's self-adjusting.
Yeah.
Based on what you're doing, like if you're TIGging steel versus aluminum, that's a completely different arc intensity. And
Well,
you can put it into that mode, and it'll self-adjust.
Because I get a lot of guys. I mean, I've sold actually. I think last month, I sold the most welding helmet. I think I sold 9 welding helmets. And it was just because I walk in, they're saying this thing's not working, and I realized I said, "Oh, are you TIGging or MIGging?" And he goes, "Well, I've been TIGging more," and I'm like, "That's your problem. Your helmet doesn't go up. It doesn't go up high enough.
Yeah.
You need to get into at least lowest you want to be is 13."
Right.
So, and they're like, "Oh, that can't be. That can't be." They go, "Oh, that can't be. That can't be." And I'm like, "Just try my helmet. Next week, I'll buy it."
There you go. Good for you. That's the way to be.
Actually, I think I'm back. to keeping 2 on the truck. I usually just keep 1 all the time, but I think I'm back. Like I said, and I've sold. I got another one. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's gonna be kind of screwy, so it might
Sell
be
them
next
these
week.
things. Does Matco have something similar to this or an outside line?
I can get them outside. A lot of some of the. I've only had. I know.
Besides the helmet.
Yeah.
And I've been messing with this stuff since the 80s.
What is that?
This is the best thing ever invented.
That's to put a tip on a.
It's got a small little diamond. It's got a small little diamond wheel in there.
Yeah.
And then it's got slots for the different size tungstens. And it's at the angle that the tungsten needs to be. And then you just turn it on, you stick your tungsten in and you twirl it, and it puts the perfect tip on your tungsten. And because it's only for doing tungsten, it never gets contaminated.
Yeah.
A lot of guys use a grinding wheel.
And they screw it all up.
And in the shop, you tell everybody, TIG sticks only on this grinding wheel, and then some jackass will walk up there with a piece of steel.
Oh, better off a block of aluminum. They'll take a block of aluminum and run
Right.
across it.
Unbelievable. Then you destroy it, and then all of a sudden, you hit the arc, and you got all kinds of bubbles and pops coming out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I only had one. I had one guy that did a lot of fabbing and hot rod stuff, and of course he moved further north from me. So most of my guys that are getting into it, they do it at home, more or less, and they have a little bit more control. But
trust me, when we had to shop, we were lazy. We had a grinding wheel specifically for tungsten, but you had to walk all the way across the shop. And I was guilty of it forever, for 15, 20 years. I would take, the little angle die grinder.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would have a 3M, either not a Scotch-Brite, the sanding disc, 3-inch sanding disc.
Yep.
And I would just grab that thing and just spin the tungsten, put a tip on it. Wouldn't be the best, but at that time I was welding, 8 hours a day sometimes, and you make it work.
Yeah.
Instead of walking all the way to the other side of the shop, And I'm not the kind of guy that does textbook TIG welding. Textbook TIG welding, they tell you to bust out 4 or 5 pieces of tungsten, sharpened, ready to go. So if you happen to dip the tungsten into the weld puddle and contaminate it, you just pop the tungsten out, you put the next one in and go.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
I'm thinking
I will beat the crap out of a piece of tungsten like a crazy chain smoker that gets all the way to the filter. That's me with the tungsten. I work that thing all the way down. I've been known to take the filler rod. I work that filler rod until it's like the size of a cigarette butt, and I've been known to actually tack weld pieces of the filler rod together with the TIG torch because I'm too lazy to walk over to the cage where all of the TIG rods were and go grab more TIG rods.
Yeah.
I would pick up the scraps that were on the chassis table where I was working and just keep going. Like, I gotta finish this.
Yeah, I think this year when I go to we got our tool show in February, 1st of February. It's going to be in Vegas. And I think I was trying to figure out what I was going to get for myself, and I think I'm going to buy a TIG. So I made a mistake. I made a mistake 2 years ago when I bought my welder, my new MIG. And the guy told me then to buy a TIG, and I said, no. And now I wish I did. So
there's a lot of units out there now, the solid state ones, inverters that do both.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And what do you call it? What do you call a cutting thing?
Plasma. I got a plasma.
I haven't seen any that do plasma cutting. I have a separate plasma cutter.
Yeah, they do. They have one that does all. Actually, it's in our sales flyer.
Plasma, really?
Yeah, it's in our. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's stick. It does stick, MIG, TIG, and aluminum.
Oh, it's got AC.
All right, and it has
a lot of the combo units are DC.
Yeah,
which is great for all around welding.
We had that's the only problem that I have, because if I go with a TIG, that means it's going to be another new MIG, and I already have. It's bad enough I have 3 of them myself. I don't really need another one, but I gotten so many people asking me to do aluminum, and I just have to sit down and play.
The ones, believe it or not, and because I love it, I bought an Eastwood Mig Welder.
Yeah,
and it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
one of my really good friends.
Good for the money.
Yeah, he bought the Eastwood. It's the 200 digital.
Yeah.
So it's AC and DC.
Yeah.
And it has pulse welding.
Yep.
And this guy lays out a row of nickels on chrome moly and aluminum with this unit that's the size of a briefcase.
Yeah.
And he just
I could probably get a better.
Loves it.
The only reason why I'm getting it through me because I get a hell of a deal, and I can get all. Yeah. I can get everything. Like I said, I
do it.
I've looked at the Eastwood stuff before, and it's good. And like I said, I cannot tell you how many people with wheels, that want to have wheels repair, and I know that's a little trickier, but
wheel repair, you need a big unit.
Yeah.
Because they're aluminum and it takes a lot of heat. You got to run some amperage to do an aluminum wheel.
Yeah.
If you try doing aluminum with these regular inverter ones that are only rated at like 200, they have the duty cycle on those is pretty low.
Yeah.
They're not constant. You can't run them constantly, but it's good for the stuff that we do. Thin wall tubing, the thickest tube in a race car is 083.
Yeah,
you're not going to weld anything thicker than 083 on a car like this, other than what I did on the housing, which was anywhere between 1/4 inch and
well, you can also do the old school. More. I'm sure you get the old acetylene torch out and you heat it up.
Yeah, who's got time for that?
There's always a way to skin the cat, Johnny. Come on,
I know. Well, I don't worry about it because I still have my trusty bought in 1992 Miller Synchrowave 250.
Yeah,
and it's phenomenal. It's a big giant. You know what it is? You look at this thing, and when you turn it on, it's got this giant 16-inch fan in the back. It's like. When you look at this thing and you turn it on and you listen to the noise, it immediately takes you back to those 50s movies where they had like these crazy machines and robots and stuff. It's an antique unit.
There's
nothing
funny
electronic in that at all. It might as well be a tube amplifier. That's the way those things are.
Well, that's funny when I first moved into the house here and I was doing welding. Everything in the house would dim down, and, it was pulling. And so until I did the heavy up, I was always afraid, I would go in and say, okay, everybody off of the computer, because you don't want to send the computer into left field, so it was kind of funny. I got to do some welding. Everybody cut the computer, turn some lights out.
Yeah, this thing's a beast, but that's the good thing about TIG welding is you're not using a boatload of amps, to get stuff done. So it works out well. But that electronic MIG welder, that solid state MIG welder I'm like, whoa. I was so afraid to pull the trigger on that. And I'm like, I need a MIG welder. And I didn't want to go back to Miller and wind up spending like $2,000 for a MIG welder. And I was looking at their digital stuff, which is like super expensive. Yeah. But it's top of the line. You buy something from Lincoln, you buy something from Miller, you're getting, you're getting the Ferrari and the Porsche of that kind of equipment. But I'm like, I'm not doing this for a living anymore. I only got to do 2 cars, And I did a lot of research and I looked at a lot of reviews. And I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And finally, I'm like, you know what? It went on sale. And I'm like, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
And then it showed up and it was in this little box. And I'm like, oh, my God. It's 110 volt or 220. I never plugged it into 110 yet. I always use 220 on it. And I turned it on. And I'm like, wow. It was awesome. You open up the door, there's a chart. And a lot of times those charts where they tell you, the material that you're doing, what kind of material is it? What thickness is it? What wire are you using? Well, this is the wire speed. This is the amperage setting. Whoever built their chart knows what he's doing. Yeah. Because if you set it to that, you're only going to wind up moving the wire speed like 10 or 15 inches per second, one way or the other. And you get that crisp crack noise out of a good MIG weld with like almost no spatter. Penetration is phenomenal. When you run a long run, you do not see that waviness in the heat line, which tells you that whatever's going on inside there is having trouble keeping up with the amperage output. Yeah. It's dead on. It's like an automatic machine. I'm like, it's the most impressive cheap MIG welder I've ever owned.
Yeah, no, they're good.
And it's got a Tweco gun on it. So Tweco makes like the best MIG welding guns. So I'm not complaining about anything on it. It's phenomenal. And it's so small you can carry it around.
That's the MIG welder? I mean the Miller?
The wire, wire.
No, well, it's from Eastwood. From Eastwood. It's really good. I mean, even
Eastwood 200.
I'd love to sell you one of mine, but it's a great. And like I said, when you don't use it every day and you want something that's great, I mean, a good welder, I mean, you can't beat the money. Because I can't even tell you how many shops I go into, and they needed a MIG welder for 1 or 2 small jobs a month or whatever, and they all go out and buy one from Harbor Freight, and it just sits there. It's broken within 30 seconds, or it doesn't work right, or whatever. And I tell them, I said, hey, I'd love to sell you. I know that you don't want to spend $1,500, but shit, I would go to Eastwood, dude, because that's a hell of a welder for the price and the money.
It's unreal.
Is that the 175 one that they got, or you?
I bought the 200.
The 200.
Okay. Yeah, the biggest one. I bought the biggest MIG welder only for capacity. See, I'm the kind of guy that would buy a 1,000-watt amplifier, but only turn the music up to 3.
Yeah.
I've been there before. If you've got all that reserve and the area you're working in and it's way less than max, you never have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing with the plasma cutter. I bought the Eastwood, the biggest plasma cutter that they make, so I could cut some really thick stuff. And to date, the thickest thing is ever cut is a piece of 1/8-inch plate.
Yeah.
It's for sheet metal. I bought it for sheet metal,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought
I have yet to change the tip on this plasma cutter.
Really?
Yeah, it's got like a little spring, sort of a spacer that keeps the tip up just a little bit off the surface. And it's the same tip. I have not changed the tip. I've had this thing for 3 years. Yeah. And I haven't changed the tip yet. It's unreal.
Yeah. I thought I knew everything I needed to know about my welder, and then I started having problems, and I made a comment or a video or something about it. And if it hadn't been for Rich, my friend Rich on YouTube, helping me out on what I was doing wrong, I probably would have chucked that Lincoln Electric and went and just bought a new one. But
what was that one, Lewis?
This is a Amazon $125 stick welder.
There you go.
And it's 220 and 110.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Have you been practicing your stick?
Yeah, that's what I learned on the stick. So I'm not too bad with it.
Stick's hard. I can't stick weld.
Yeah.
I used to be aircraft certified in welding, and I can't stick weld. Every time I try to stick weld, I stick the rod to the material. And then it's like
hard to do.
All of a sudden it's like short circuit. I gotta yank the clamp off of it.
Yeah.
You know? I do not. I have so much trouble getting that gap between the material and the tip to allow it to shoot into it. I can't stick weld at all.
Yeah, I love it.
I can gas weld. I can MIG. I can TIG. I can solder. See, that's the good thing with when you buy a TIG welder that's really versatile. You could use it to braze. You could use it to solder even too. You put a real thin tungsten in and you turn the amperage way, way, way down, and you could literally solder stuff with it.
I'll show you my helmet I got from Lincoln.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Check out the graphics.
Yeah, it's got
nice.
the grind mode and everything.
That's got a real custom paint job.
Yeah, look at the.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right.
So
cool. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
That's really nice.
You got
Mine's plain old gray. Got the Canadian flag.
Yeah, I got it from Lincoln, Canada.
Awesome.
Huh.
Lewis, did you know you're on here twice with 2 videos? Okay.
He's in
I'm trying to get my studio all set back up. I got some stuff, but it's been in the box for a minute. So I'm trying to get everything set up.
I thought my computer.
How's my complexion look?
Fair skin. You got
Am I still black?
You look a little pale.
You're looking like Hershey's.
You gotta trim it up. You're gonna start looking. You don't want to look shabby like me.
I trimmed it the other day. I just, I was kind of doing some work around here, so kind of raggedy looking.
And maybe if I ever get done inventory and get all my stuff together, maybe I'll go shave. I don't know.
One day.
Yeah.
It makes you look like you're doing work. So hey.
Yeah. You need a hair band so you can puff it up.
That's why I got my.
Need one of your
I got new readers actually.
Ponytail stretchy things and make yourself a man bun.
Actually, I had to get new
another
readers
one
today.
in the beard, like what was that wrestler? There was an old school wrestler.
Lou Albano.
Lou Albano used to wear the rubber bands.
Yeah.
Rubber band. Yeah, I had. I jumped out of the tool truck and my readers slid off and hit the ground, and I kicked them across the street, and the car ran over them. Son of a bitch. It was my last set of readers, so I had to stop by and found some readers, but had to get my hairband back up, so I had to look. So,
yeah, I saw that picture. Oh, look, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
really
I like
nice.
that.
It's awesome.
Hey Tyler, if you need help with your
Ordered it
logo,
like that, right from
let me know. I might
Yeti.
be able to help you with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Heidi, but yeah, you could help him out. That'd be cool.
Yep.
She's overloaded with work right now, but she might have a crack at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I think all next week I'm gonna be doing computer work. So Tyler, if you want me to play around, I can play around with your logo.
Who got the music playing?
So, Tyler, did you get that tubing you were looking for? Because I got a building full of it.
Yeah, he did. I seen it on Instagram.
Okay. All right.
Now, what tubing do you have? Because I don't have to go with one by one. I can go with.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
mine is round tubing.
Oh, is it?
Like roll cage and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep it. It's hard to come by.
at a decent price.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, this is 1 5/8 OD. And it's really nice. I've had it for a while. I bought it as I was going to build a glorified heavy-duty go-kart with a motorcycle in it. And then all these other projects kept popping into the shop. I don't know how they got in here, but
just showed up.
Yeah, they just showed up. I opened the door and they walked in. But I might get back to it one of these days.
Hey, have you seen those motorized what do you call big wheels? Like the old big wheels. They got a motors on them now.
Adults.
Yeah, you're talking about those drift bikes.
Yeah.
My
What's
friend,
the chance of making one of those?
Oh, it's a very good chance. My friend Tom up in Ashtabula, he builds them one every weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
What motor are you putting on them?
Well, I haven't built one, but he puts the Predator 212cc from Harbor Freight on them, and he removes that governor, and man, them freaking things will zip with that little 212cc motor.
That's
so cool.
Yeah.
See, I need one stretched out because I'm a little bit overgrown.
Yeah.
You need the one for Shaq.
Mm.
Yeah.
You need the Shaq.
I ate one bowl of vegetables too many.
Oh yeah.
I just finished my lunch from today. We went up to Thompson, brought what I didn't eat home, and I just finished it.
Hey Ray, you're kind of quiet. What's going on? Your mic broke?
No, it's working.
Oh, hey Ray, remember when I was at Shaq's house and I showed you that Chevy that was in the garage? It had that really small back seat, had LS in it, was silver.
It's funny because I just showed the pictures of the house that you sent to my daughter and her fiance. They were talking about fish. So I showed her the pictures of the house, and the tank was last. And I said, yeah, this is Shaq's house. John goes there. I didn't have a picture of the car, so I don't remember seeing that car.
I did a live with you.
Oh, okay.
It was like a FaceTime.
Okay.
I just found out the other day that was the car that was built by Chip Foose.
Really?
Oh, when they did the show.
Yeah. Well, remember that girl that worked for him? She was on the show here.
Yeah, the
CJ, I think. What her name?
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, what is his name?
AJ.
No,
not AJ.
Starts with a C. Carolyn. Kaylin.
No, it's not that.
Yeah, it is. Hold on. Let me. Hold on.
Anyway, I saw posts from her on Facebook, and she had a whole bunch of photos and everything. And she showed a bunch of photos from when she was working on overhauling with Foose. And there was a bunch of pictures of that car being done, and she was like standing next to it when it's finished. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even know I was standing next to a Foose car.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the car was immaculate.
I'm going to tell you the story on that car. That car won the Riddler.
Did it?
Really? It was a silver. I'm pretty sure it was an Impala, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
65.
Oh.
66.
65 or 66 Impala with an LS, silver, with
Had like a Corvette interior in it.
Yeah, had a
I'm going to tell you the story on that. Hold on
interior.
1 second. Her name is Sherilyn.
Sherilyn, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so listen, I'm going to tell you a story on that car. A guy bought that for his wife.
Uh-huh.
and he bought the 60. I don't know if it's 65 or 68, one of those, right in that area. But they went down the street and bought a brand new Corvette, brought it back, took the body off the Corvette, and sat that down on top of it.
Oh.
And he cut out of the quarter. He cut, I think, 4 inches out of the quarter, 4 inches out of the top. Like they shrunk it and brought in the trunk as well to make it fit. If you notice on that car that the gas cap is in the back where the Corvette gas cap is.
Oh, I didn't even go that far looking at it.
Yeah, it's like right by the back window.
Corner of the garage, and the hood was up, and I'm like, this car is awesome, but it has like no back seat because Shaq's got the front seats pushed like 12 inches or 18 inches back.
Well, they did that because a Corvette don't have a back seat.
Yeah, but also because everything he has is extra long.
Yeah.
In the interior area.
So I'm surprised he got that car.
He's got a Orange County Choppers bike that was built for him.
Long.
That he told me and Wade from the TV show. He goes, if you could sit in the seat, put your feet on the pedals, and reach the handlebars, you could take it home. And neither of us could do that.
Wow.
Yeah. They did. I know. Got West Coast Customs. West Coast Customs did one of those. One of them slingshots for him, and they king sized it. Everything he's got is king sized.
And you're talking about Shaquille O'Neal, right?
Yeah.
They had a special on that, and I can't remember because that car. He was supposed to have that car done for somebody, and that person, something came about, something changed, and it turned in that he ended up keeping. That's why they had to change the seats for him and in the show they talked about because he was going to have it done for somebody or somebody. Oh no, it was his buddy. They were originally thinking that he was going to do it for his buddy, but his buddy turned around and did it for him. It was one of his buddies that did that. So Shaq was in the middle of doing it for his buddy, thinking it's for his buddy, and telling him
that must be my other customer, Derek.
Yeah, it was another guy.
Derek is his number one.
So then he was really building it for Shaq or something. They did a whole show. I mean, it was a whole hour show on it or whatever.
Yeah, in Sherilyn's page, there's photos of Shaq standing next to the car and sitting in it.
But there was something about that where they were going along, and he thought it was for somebody else, but it was for him. And then, of course, they were like, "We got to." They showed the car. They showed. I think in there, I think I'm right. They showed the car like where the seats are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like where it's supposed to be, and Shaq was like, I guess I'll never drive this. He said, he said something like that, and of course, then it was before the reveal. We got, how TV makes it dramatic. We got 5 hours, and we got to redo the whole back, something like that. I remember watching. It's kind of funny.
It's wild.
I got pictures of it somewhere.
The seats are way, way, way back.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that initially built that, he built that for his wife. And she was driving it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know they were talking about how they found it or how they were going to find it. They were looking for it or found it. I don't know.
They also at SEMA, I forget what year they built it. It's probably 2011 maybe. They built that car. They had another Impala sitting next to it, showing how much he cut out of it.
Really?
The difference in the size.
Yeah. They did the same thing at Detroit Autorama too. They had that car in another one, and you looked at the one side of the stock Impala, and it just, you couldn't see anything. And they went on the other side, and they showed with like tape and stuff like, okay, here's where we cut. This is what we took out of this part. And it's amazing. This the stuff you don't even notice.
Yeah. It looked normal until you really looked at it with another car next to it.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean,
Chip calls that subtle details. What he calls that.
Beautiful car.
Same kind of stuff like when you go to the drag strip, and you look at the cars that we built, and they look like the car until you put a stock one up next to it. In '93 when they came out with that next generation of Firebird, those cars were phenomenal cars to build as pro stock cars. the coefficient of drag was like one of the lowest numbers in history, and the car had so much overhang from the center line of the front wheels to the very peak of the nose that they literally had to change the rules in Pro Stock. Because when GM rolled that thing off the assembly line, if you measure a stock Firebird, it's 40 inches from the center line of the front wheel to the nose, the tip of the nose. And there was no other cars in production that had a 40-inch overhang. And in drag racing, you start at the beginning of the track with the LEDs across your wheels, but you finish the race with your nose.
Yeah.
The lights, the LED lights, the sensors are higher on the top end. So
I was
there
able.
was a lot of yelling and screaming about that, and NHRA had to change, But it was wild. But you put one of those Firebirds, you look at it, go, oh man, yeah, that's a new Trans Am, and then you roll a stock one up next to it, and they don't look anything like each other. It's a very deceiving car when it's built as a race car.
I was lucky. I found a case of Hot Wheels yesterday, and they're very few and very far between right now. And this is from the Legend Series tour, but it's a 70
nice
Trans Am.
Oh wow!
And they got the motor. See, the motor is jacked back. I mean, it's offset into.
Yeah.
And that's the front.
That looks a lot like the 70 that guy built that was at SEMA.
Yeah, well, this is This is from their Legend series, which are. I wonder if this one was at SEMA.
There was an article. This young
designer,
guy,
Riley Starr.
I think
that's the designer.
He built the whole car in a lean-to outside his parents' house. Not even in a garage. It was just like under a roof. And
but I saw this, and I said,
"Man,
that looks like
back under the windshield."
Yeah, that's this car.
Yeah. And it had his exhaust system was all stainless steel, and it was the kind where the pipes like cross over each other from one side of the engine to the other. So it was like this huge mass of stainless steel spaghetti. It was unbelievable. The suspension and the frame that this kid built, it was phenomenal. He was like SEMA Builder of the Year like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's this car.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then they had the other one was the 70 Chevelle that's all retro modded out.
Oh, that's cool. Got a big cowl induction hood.
Yeah.
What's with the white wall?
Hey, John. I was checking out your pictures on Facebook of your welding and stuff you've been doing on your chassis and stuff.
Horrible.
No, I think it looks awesome. Listen, it looks a lot better than what I do. But I was going to ask you, are you doing all of that with that Eastwood welder?
If it's MIG, it was done with the Eastwood.
Okay.
If it's TIG welded, which on the 2x3 chassis, that's mild. Well, the whole thing's mild steel.
Right.
But what I did was I MIG welded the 4-link brackets and some of the cross members and things like that, and the roll bar and all of the tubes associated that you would see through the rear window, or when you open up the trunk, or if you were in the car and look back, all of that roll bar tubing and cross bracing, that's all TIG welded.
Okay.
I wanted it to look like, super clean. I've done plenty of cars where we MIG welded the whole thing, and and it looks great. But there's nothing like looking at a good TIG weld on a roll cage. The way the tubes meet, So all of the roll bar stuff is TIG. All of the chassis stuff underneath and things you don't see, I pulled the MIG trigger on that one.
Yeah. See, I weld.
Not in a position to be able to weld like upside down. I'm too fat and old for that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll pull the trigger and MIG it.
I literally weld with one hand, and
that's amazing.
I didn't think that my welds could get any better, and I haven't tried this yet, but my friend Rich GT350 here on YouTube was telling me that if I lay the wire down with the MIG, I can go back over it with the TIG and smooth that out and just even make it stronger by doing that.
Yeah, you could go back over it, sure.
So I'm going to eventually buy a nice TIG welder for that, because these frames I build, like this trike I'm doing, you know, I'm going to be on the main road with that thing, and I don't want my welds flying apart.
Sure.
The bike go one way and I go the other. So.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I love that.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when that was revealed. That was several years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2010 or 11, somewhere in there.
But that's not the car that's at Shaq's.
Oh, it's not?
No. The car at Shaq's is a silver. It's a silver convertible.
Oh, really?
With a deep red interior. But there's pictures on Cheryl Lynn's Facebook page of her working on that car and standing next to it. Yeah, you can see Shaq standing right there.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the car.
That's a 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the car that I saw at his house.
Wow.
Yeah, there he is, the big guy standing right there. See that interior? It's a fake back seat, but it looks like the real deal. But unless you're a 2-year-old, you're not sitting back there. Literally, the back of the driver's seat and passenger seat are about 4 inches from the bottom of the rear seat.
They just put the in there so it's lower insurance. Being a four.
Well, yeah. Well, it looks good instead of just putting like a fake kind of a panel in there. You've got the actual Impala panel, and I believe Ray wasn't there a speaker in that middle piece?
That was yeah.
I remember my uncle had one.
That's what they did with the 911 Turbo. They just they used to have a shelf in there, but they put seats in there so that your insurance wasn't as high because it was a 4-seater instead of a 2-seater.
Yeah, my Fiat has a rear seat that's unusable.
Yeah, unless you want to sit sideways in it.
The back. That's what I had to do. I wanted to take my kids when they were like in high school. I said, "Look, you got to get in, but you got to sit sideways."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the car.
Yep, I love that car. I've got a 59 Impala sitting in Big Falls, Minnesota in the weeds.
Really?
I told Arco, I said, if you're coming to Ohio for this Raise the Roof event, you better have my car tagging along behind you or you ain't welcome.
You might have some problems because Terry has a truck out there he wants to get.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
John,
I'm going to take a road trip.
Have you seen the new Cyclone wagon tool around your neighborhood?
No.
No, John, it's Evan's car. He just did a
yeah.
video where he drove it around the neighborhood.
Who's got the crappy microphone connection? I hear all of this heavy static.
Buzz.
I'll find out in a second. Hold on.
Start dropping out people.
It ain't Jim.
No, ain't Justin.
It ain't Justin.
Probably Jim.
No. Jim was muted.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
He went away. Nope.
It's back.
Aha!
Oh, there you go.
Joey.
Joey, your microphone's messed up.
Huh.
Is it scraping on your shirt? Is it on your headphones?
Oh, I bet it is.
Nah, I still hear it.
Well, I'm moving it around. You still hear it?
There you go. No, that sounds better.
A little bit better.
All right. I moved the earpiece was riding up against my hoodie.
Sounds like a wiring issue.
Yeah. Did you still hear it?
A little bit, but it's okay. A lot better than it was. Yeah, I saw that car, and I went by his house, and he wasn't home, and it was sitting on the driveway.
Okay.
Ooh, he's making a
His latest video.
69 Charger. I love 69 Chargers. 69 and 70. I'm not even a Mopar guy, but if somebody told me I could get a 69 or a 70 Charger, I'm on it. I think they're the most awesome looking cars. They're
Hey, Tyler.
huge.
Tyler, you should talk to John, man. That's his thing, chassis.
Yeah, this NZ Mopar Outlaw Customs is one of Arco's other channels over in New Zealand. And Glenn, the guy that's running it there in New Zealand, he's got, I think, what is that, a 25 Packard or something that you are restoring? Doing a freaking phenomenal job on that car. I mean, it's just unreal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
33 Plymouth.
Yeah, well, it's sitting in Big Falls if he ever makes it there, he said.
Oh.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get a car out of there and get it to New Zealand? They got all kinds of tariffs to bringing it in.
Right now, it'd probably be easier to ship a car
than
it is to take a plane and get here.
Hell, man, I call Connie Kalita Air. They'll ship anything, anywhere, anytime.
Kalita's flying service.
Yeah, stick it on one of his 747s, lash it down, and fly it to New Zealand.
And if you ever go to Big Falls, Arco has some stuff.
Do they have Big Falls there?
Yeah, Minnesota. I bet you he has. What do you think? 400 cars there?
At least. Yeah, and these are old classic cars.
That's worth the summer trip.
It is.
One row of cars is nothing but 55s, another one 56, 57s, 59s. It just rolls of them everywhere. Yeah.
I'd like to do a rat rod for my wife. Maybe after the bus project.
Sell parts off of them for guys that are doing stuff?
No, he's a hoarder.
He's a hoarder.
Oh, he's a hoarder?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, guys,
if you do get to,
I gotta jump off early tonight.
Yeah. If you do go visit him, he'll make you strip and get rid of all your cameras, no hidden cameras, nothing allowed into the area. It's like Area 52. You can't be there.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Hey Brian, did you watch the 50th anniversary Price is Right last night?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah. Did you see the Mach 1?
They gave away a 72 Mach 1.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was an ugly color yellow, but
yeah.
My friend.
I was in the office and I hear it. My wife was watching it and she's yelling, "Come here, come here! This lady's gonna win a Mach 1." And I walk in there and I'm like, "Wow, that was really cool."
Yeah.
Granted, I think that is like the ugly years.
Oh yeah, that was yeah.
You know, but
it was a convertible though.
Yeah, to have one of those things restored, ready to go, and she won it.
Yeah,
that's like totally awesome.
She had to do 2 putts though. Good. That was it was funny because she was doing the putting game, and she missed, and and of course, what's his name?
Drew.
Drew. He's kind of funny because he goes, it was like 1 putt or something. Goes and he flips the sign and it says 2, and she was ecstatic, man. I thought she was gonna lose it when she got one more chance. But
it was funny because you could tell by watching what was going on that really the whole show was planned by the producers to just keep giving stuff away.
Yeah.
You know, every single one of them, there was some allowance for something. It wasn't like a
at first when I first started watching it because it was with him, I was kind of I was like, oh, I want to see the old classic stuff, you know, the run, you know, show some old stuff. But then they did. I mean, that's why I was because I used to when I was a little guy, I used to watch that all the time, dude.
That
was awesome.
Muhammad Ali just walked in.
That's it, the man.
What's up, did you ever see the pictures of Jeff? What's his name? Jeff Piskett.
Who?
That's his last name. He's been on there a couple times.
Oh yeah. No, they actually had some video with him in there.
Yeah.
The old back in the day type thing. Yeah.
He was on Saved by the Bell too.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that now. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, my friend Bubba Ayers made it to that Price is Right. He was there when it was live, yeah.
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 Yeah, that was
Drew
fun.
Carey lost a ton of weight.
Well, he wanted to look like Bob the Barker, you know.
You do that when you got money.
He lost a lot of weight and his hair was long. He needed a haircut.
Now you get a lot of money and you want to live longer.
Yeah, tell me.
All right, tell me about it.
What's going on, T?
Same old. What's happening, gentlemen? What's going on?
We're just trying to be like you.
Coming on a little late there, young man.
A little 7-year-old who just got a PlayStation. And, you know, so next thing you know, you see me doing videos being a gamer now.
Yeah. Hey, I was thinking there, Cover Man, I'll get with my people and see if they can get with your people. And since we didn't actually get to see Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali fight, you could step in as Muhammad Ali and see if you could take him.
Not even on my good day, I would step in the ring with Tyson.
Man.
No.
Could you imagine getting hit in the face by that dude?
No, I can't. I wouldn't even. I'd run.
Oh my god!
I don't want to imagine.
That uppercut was a bomb, man.
It would be a hideous fight. I'd be riding on my bicycle, but then that boy's just so quick. He'll just come at you like a small piece, man. Yeah, you can't. What can you do?
You know, usually
out of the ring.
when people are quick, they're not strong. But he was strong and quick.
Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah. But yeah, if I was to try to imagine being hit by him, I'd probably go into a seizure just thinking about it. So.
No, I don't want to. I don't. No.
I posted a meme on my Facebook page before Christmas. It was Mike Tyson, and it was a container from this company, Sani Cloths, or sanitary cloths.
Mm-hmm.
And it said Sani Cloth is coming to town. It's got that weird.
Fanny. Yeah, he's Fanny.
Fanny Cloth. I find so much weird stuff on the internet.
I hope he don't listen to this and come looking for me.
Yeah, look for John.
He's a pussy cat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just tell him,
fellas, I gotta jump.
Don't hit me, man. Shaq's my friend. He'll come after you.
Yeah. Lewis, we'll get together about those steps, man.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, just hit me today if I can get some stuff done before the fellas get here. Before Terry rolls in.
Yeah, I mean, the last steps I made, it was out of concrete, but I think I can do it out of metal. So.
Hey. As long as they're not sloped too much where I fall out on my face, you know, we'll be good.
That may be a problem because where I got one arm, I kind of lean to the right a little bit. So.
That's going to be a fun time, I think. I'm going to try to get Ray out there. Ray,
you coming?
You're doing this the end of this. Yeah, the end of this month that's
next month.
In a January.
I'm off until then. Then I got to go back to work, and then I got 15 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll be making plans.
Wait, the military?
Cool.
No, I'm retired.
Oh.
Ray said he had enough.
35 years is enough in one place.
Yeah.
That's long enough.
Yeah. What do you do?
I work up at a college, local college.
He's a stripper.
Yeah.
Oh. Stripping copper is what he's doing.
Yeah, some of that.
He's a Chippendale.
Yeah. Where do you live, Ray?
On Long Island in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down
I thought you sounded like a New Yorker. I just wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, can't hide it. I don't try.
Yeah.
Hey Terry, Joey's trying to get Arco to bring one of his cars over. I told him he's gonna be fighting with you guys.
No. Me and when I come out there, I'll probably bring the ZL1. So we might have to go. We might have to rip it down the street a little bit.
Well, you know, he's got a car hauler. He has no excuse. He could bring all of our vehicles in one trip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Terry, just got to make sure you don't have any drippy fuel lines.
No, you can't have those.
But
you can't have those. Did you see that? That was like almost like a puddle. I was like,
I did see that. Yeah.
I was like, you know, like I was like saying to myself, wow, if they got on the header, woo.
But that was a good thing you mentioned how you really have to be dead square. You can't be off.
No, because that's what I think happened. Because especially when we have the the braided. You know, if it's even a little bit off, it's going to stress it.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's happening, because when I looked at mine, I was like, mine, okay. So it made sense. So it was not, and I tried like 4 or 5 different brand name, because I have a female, well, basically, like I said, it comes out the regulator and it makes a 90-degree turn to a female. And then when I had a quick disconnect, male, A&8. And like when I was doing it, I didn't recognize it, but then I didn't think about it. But then when, I guess 3 years later, here we are, and that rail is just a little bit tweaked. And I was like, that's what happened. So I was just like, dang on, the stores were closed, and I didn't have a compression. I don't have a compression fitting, because that's what I was going to do. That's the first thing to do is compression. And I was like, you know what? Let me try one of these. Automotive clamps.
I meant to bring in my big supply of them. I said, thank God he said the right name, because people don't know what they are.
What, the Automotive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I learned, I'm like, oh wow, they have a name. What the hell? That's a stupid name.
Yeah.
But it puts pressure 360 degrees around the circle. So
exactly.
Yeah. Same thing as a CV boot. Same pads. Yeah.
And I tested out for like 2 months. Like every night I got up in there, it was just dry, and I was like, okay, this is cool. All right. Yeah.
But I was going to say, if we did all roll up at one time up in Big Falls and just lay the longest, loudest burnout right in front of Arco's shop, it's not like we'd get in trouble for it, because he's like the law there. He owns the whole freaking town.
Yeah, I heard he's, yeah.
Yeah, he's like the mayor there, and Heidi's the governor.
Well, me and him are in negotiations. I might be getting his truck. That truck that we talked about.
Which truck?
Well, he has a 68 GMC 1500.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's he been
Shop truck?
Hey, like the hand was shook. I think someone he mentioned it the other night. He said someone when you were on, he said that someone, I guess, paid him with the truck, and they took the engine out, and that's when he was like, I want to get rid of that ugly thing, whatever. And I was like, there's nothing ugly about that truck.
I saw that truck.
Yeah,
I've seen it in pictures anyway.
Yeah, so he sent me a picture of it and everything like that, a video. It looks good. He said the only problem is that the cab corner, someone tried to fix it, but they riveted it in instead of like cutting the piece out. And well, he says you probably could still use that patch panel. So, we're gonna talk about it and see if we can't get that truck down and have another project.
There you go.
Shop truck.
Are you gonna finish anything?
Don't have to. Don't have to. I don't have to.
As long as you got it.
As long as I got it and the content keeps coming.
Yeah.
I gotta get it done. I gotta drive it.
Now, see, I like to spread myself. I like to, get, because, I don't want to have a hamburger every night. I don't want to have steak every night, I'm doing this hot dog truck,
I got to get it finished. I got to get this one finished so I can start the next one. So I got 2 of them ready to go whenever I want.
Oh, no, I got something that's ready now. Don't get me wrong. I got something that's ready. But like I said, I like variety, So,
It's I don't after the next one on this one and then the next one, I'm done with projects. Finished.
Oh, you say that. You're gonna get something else.
No, absolutely not, man. It's just gonna be maintenance and modifications here and there.
I said that all of 2021. Yeah. But at the end of this year, I still got more and more.
So long, Louis.
See you, Louis.
Man.
I'm out.
And it's a long truck,
right.
so it's a long bed. So I got to shorten it. They got these kits that you can shorten them, make a short bed. Because I don't want a long one.
Why, man? An 8-foot bed, you can carry stuff.
Nah.
Yeah, you can even go camping. Call it your camper special.
Nah. I'm not a camper. I want a short bed. I'll tow a car. That's going to be it.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about those 60, well, even before 68 or 67, you can go to LMC trucks and AMD metal, and basically all you need is a pink slip, a title, or a cab and doors and a frame, and you could buy the rest in a catalog.
Yep.
Yeah. Make a beautiful truck. I watched that Stacy David do that Copperhead
That
one.
Copperhead. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
that was a nice truck.
Amazing, what you can do nowadays with before, you couldn't do that. But
no, the
I
wife
thought I saw somebody too.
The wifey's even like she wants she's gonna be the one to pick the color because she likes that truck. She said, I like that better than Le Mans. Let's get rid of that Le Mans. I was like, easy there.
I thought I saw too there was somebody that's doing cabs for those trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a company that's making the entire cab. But that's even on I think there's that same company or another company's doing like, you got your split window or split bumper Camaros, the Rally Sports. They're making the complete body. Another company.
Oh yeah, those were at SEMA.
Yeah, there was another company, and it might it might be the same company, but
the Dynacorn.
Dynacorn, yeah.
Yeah, I watched. It was on Chop Cut Rebuild, where they they bought a convertible 55 or 56 convertible, and the body was so bad on it that it was in horrible shape. But they wanted to build a car, and they went to one of those companies, and they built the entire body right there on the show.
Right.
And it was beautiful.
Dynacorn's making stuff, and Real Deal Steel here in Florida is making stuff.
Yeah, that's the one I was trying to think of. Real Deal.
Yeah. I know the guy that's the owner of the company.
Yeah, they do a really nice one-off for the 59 Impalas, the X-type frame, and the way they build it is it's a no-brainer. That's what you want to use if you're going to do a 59.
Yeah. The guy that owns, he's one of the owners, 200 of Real Deal. He's got a 57 Chevy Pro Mod that is a street car.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 112 or 115 inch wheelbase. The 57 rear fenders are exaggerated. They're longer and taller than normal, and they become part of the rear wing with the dual parachutes. It's got like a 4-inch chop top. And they even, on the Pro Mod bodies, they actually drop the front of the roof more than the back. So it's like a doorstop, The nose is extended out. The bumper and the tail lights are angled back, so it's like more slick in the air.
Yeah.
And it's fully licensed and insured and the whole deal. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, there's another channel on here. It goes by the name of Russ Bucket Restos. And the guy is originally from here in Northeast Ohio, over in Chardon, Ohio. And I've been following this car since he started. He bought the car here in Northeast Ohio. It's a 68 Dodge Charger. And the car was nothing but rust. But he has completely put this thing all back together with collaboration with AMD. And he just did in yesterday's video, he did the rear seat pan and the footwell area on this. That was the last major piece of structure for that to get all new metal. But as he's lining all these panels up, they were so perfect. He didn't have to do anything other than clean up the epoxy paint off of them, spray the weld-through primer on it, and weld this stuff all together. And it's just beautiful the way this car has come out. And I would say by the end of January, it'll be back on its wheels, which hadn't been on its wheels in almost 2 years when he started on this project.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. But I brought that up because Tyler had said in chat that he's building a frame jig for a 69 Charger.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Oh my goodness, I'm tired, fellas.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get off of here too. But
I came in late. I'm sorry, but I was exhausted. It was a rough day.
I had a really hard time even getting on here. My computer completely crashed. I tried it with my phone. That wasn't working out. And I got off of the thing with my phone, and I looked at the computer. I said, "You're going to work, and you're going to do it right, or I got a sledgehammer sitting over behind me." And it started working. So.
You gotta tell it what to do sometimes.
Yeah, I guess I am the electronics whisperer. So.
Electronic whisperer.
Yeah, but guys, it's been good seeing you, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. And if I don't see you before New Year's, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
And that's what I wanted to get on for. I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and many, many more chats like this on Thursday nights.
If you're that bored, Terry, come on down. I got a Mustang. You want a different flavor? Again, come over here and work on this Mustang.
Now, the LS will fit right in there.
Yeah, I got plenty of room on the other side.
Well, the best Mustang I ever seen is it's built Ford tough with Chevy parts.
There you go. And on that note,
on that note, you're right.
Yeah, I'm out. See you guys.
Take care, gentlemen.
Man.
Ray, be easy.
See you, Terry.
See you later.
See ya.
So, Justin, you were digging out some of your old magazines, huh?
Yeah, sure was.
How about a car craft from 1970?
Oh my
Nice.
God.
I think the oldest one I had was that Rod Action from '82.
How about a car craft from 1975?
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh,
we got.
I haven't scratched the surface.
Oh no, of course not.
December '69. But I can't get to it right now. But I have 4 bundles of magazines that are all from like the '60s.
Wow.
It's like you gotta like. It's like you gotta be like in a museum when you open the pages because the paper wasn't made to last 4 weeks.
I don't even
yellows.
I don't even open mine up anymore. I've got a whole bunch from the late 50s, early 60s, and I don't even open them anymore. I'm afraid.
I do go through and I read them, and some of the you look at like what the mythology was or what the methodology of what they were doing, and what was hot in the in the speed world and whatnot, and what the big things were, and it's just kind of funny to get that culture shock.
Yeah.
We had some really cool.
I like the '80s ones because the girls had better bathing suits.
Yeah,
we got a couple of those over here too.
We got some really cool van magazines at the shop.
Yeah,
like the old school van stuff.
Yeah, I put them in. I sealed them in talcum powder to keep anything away from them. No moisture, no bugs, no whatever.
Nice.
And like I said, it's been 10 years since I was even then back then because I had a handful of them from I guess they were can't remember what it was, but it was on the 65 Shelbys, and another one was like on a 63 AC Cobra thing. So
then you get into like these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rod magazines. Look at the paper is just yellow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
This one's from when is this from? February, 25 cents.
Holy shit.
Thanks. No glass, no junk. But what year? Oh, 1958. Year I was born.
Oh my God, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was in the store the other day and looked at, obviously the dwindling selection of car magazines, and it was like $10.
And they're like,
right? I know.
There's like 8 pages.
Yeah.
You got the May '82 Carcraft?
I might somewhere around here.
I might have one
today.
too.
You'll see a multiple page story on somebody you know.
Well, I have a magazine that you're in, and I
a Popular Hot Rodding.
Probably Popular Hot Rodding, yeah.
Popular Hot Rodding. I'm looking at the board here, July 1992.
That one I have one of them and I have it.
That's got the black Trans Am.
You know
what the weird part is they do these articles and they come out like a year and a half later.
Oh yeah. They did that's Cars magazine. They did a bike magazine, did a spread on me years ago, and photography. We went to a park and he came to my house and did pictures, and he showed me proofs. I was like, "You want me to send you some stuff?" So I sent them my own pictures, and he ran most of my stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck.
That was the thing with that Street Rodder that we were in was the magazine come out 6 months later.
Oh yeah.
There was
by by the time CarCraft printed the article on my car, it was already a big block, narrowed rear Pro Street car.
Yeah.
And when they took the photos of it, and the guy came to Long Island they took photos in Indianapolis, and then the guy came to Long Island to do an article on it. And it was when the car was still like I'm going to call it a street machine, with a small block Chevy and 12-bolt rear with big tires and the whole deal. But by the time it was done, the car was a totally different car, which was weird. Which they actually, the guy that wrote the article, Norman, who's a good friend of mine, lives in Jersey now. He actually put like an addendum. It's like all the way in the back of the magazine. It's like one thin column where he like re-interviewed me, and I told him that I had cut the car up, turned it into a Pro Street car.
Me off about the magazines in the 70s. They would, do a 2-page or 3-page, like maybe usually 2-page spread, and like it was on page 21, 22. But then you always had to go to page like 114. Yeah. Everything always went to the back of the magazine to finish. Yep. I was like, God, I hate that. I just they do that.
It's because of the way they used to lay stuff out to print them.
I guess, yeah. That was their convention.
But that was good. I got a lot of mileage out of that because I'm in the title page. Yeah. There's a picture of that he took of my rear window, and it had one of those connecting highways winter stickers.
Right.
And it was actually, there was like pieces of the sticker that were missing.
Yeah.
It had some age on it because I had actually won a race with that car on connecting highway.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole little thing about that. And then there's the story, which is, I think it's like 3 pages. And then there's the column all the way in the back.
Right. That's the CarCraft from 82?
Yeah.
There's the CarCraft from 82.
There's a blue Pinto on the cover. I think the Pinto's got a blower motor in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I have
tons
about 20 of them. I bought up like every one I could find.
Nice.
I've got tons and tons of that stuff.
When they did Cruising USA, which was March of 1983, I've got like maybe 10 or 12 copies of that. The Popular Hot Rodding article with the Black Firebird, I got a bunch of copies of that. And then they used my car in some other stuff too. There was a shot of just the engine compartment, no hood, showed all the aluminum panels in there with the pinstriping on it, and the small block with the little Mighty Mouse stickers. And it was in the back of like Hot Rod, and it was an ad for CarCraft, and it said the heavy machinery doesn't come out till after midnight.
Oh yeah.
And it was this little ad in the back that they did. It was weird because I was working at the speed shop at the time, and I was just standing at the counter, flipping, and then all of a sudden I see my motor, my engine compartment, and I'm like, what the hell? And it was an advertisement for one of their what they called one-offs, which was Street Freaks, I think was the actual title of the magazine.
Oh, I have a couple of those.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3.
It was pretty weird.
Yeah. So my day was consumed with the stuff I love doing. My wife says to me this morning, she's, I put some clothes in the wash machine and it's making a weird noise. And I thought I heard something like the other day, but I kind of ignored it. And I said, all right, I'll go take a look. So tub full of, clothes filled with water, nothing drained. So I activate and I just hear this like, brr, brr, brr. Like, what the hell was that? Kept repeating. I'm like, it's got to be the pump. I guess the pump isn't draining, So here it is.
There you go.
But now I found out to get the pump out. Most of these water, I'm looking online. I couldn't find mine exactly, but they show, you pull the front panel off and you have access to everything. All right. Well, no, my panel is 3 sides, 1 piece of metal. Like that ain't working.
Ooh.
So then I find the right. Luckily, I'm in the basement, so the wash machine's just in the next room. I can run back and forth to the computer. It says no, you got to go from the bottom. So you have to either like turn the machine on its side or turn it on its back. I'm like, oh, great. So first I got to pump all the water out of the damn thing.
But you can never pump all the water out of it.
I had one of those little drill motor pumps that I bought a new one and put the Milwaukee drill on it and just pumped it all out right down, out the waste pipe. Lay the thing back against the wall on like a 45-degree angle, and I get under there. I'm like, okay, when's it going to fall on me? Like first,
right.
Because I know it's going to fall on me, or like it's going to drip on me. It's like now it's working on a car in a driveway now. I'm on my back. There's water. I'm waiting for this thing to fall on me. So I get the pump out, and I said, I turn the impeller. There was no junk in the pipe. I turned the impeller, and it was fine. So I said, of course, the pump was like $34. So I knew already that wasn't the problem. It's too cheap. So I powered up with 120 volts. Pump runs beautifully. I'm like, it's not the pump.
Is it the solenoid that turns it on?
No, there was definitely a noise. So I pulled the cover to where the drive belt is. I said, I'll get a drive belt while I got this all apart while I'm under it. And I turned the one pulley, not on the motor, but the one that goes on the transmission under the drum. And in a slower cadence, I heard the same noise I heard when it was trying to. It was like a brr, brr. It was and it was like had a little bit of play. I'm like, it's the freaking transmission. And I haven't gotten it apart yet, but I look online. I'm like, okay, the transmission's like $340. So I'm like,
time to just buy a washer.
I'm going to spend $300 on some plastic gears, right? Well, so we go out today. We start looking. Yeah, I'm thinking, $350. No, a washing machine's like $900. I'm like, when did that happen? Well, this one I only bought in 2016. It's 5 years old. Oh, you got 5 years. That's lucky. I said, it's not lucky. That's bullshit. It's crap.
Right.
I said,
remember those old mate tags? They used to last like 30 years.
I said to the guy at PC Richards, he goes, what do you need? I said, where are all the machines from 1984? I said, because that's what I want to buy. And he's laughing, ha ha. I was like, no, you don't understand. I said, when I got married in 1984, the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator, everything, I had it for 28 years. And I only upgraded it because we were redoing the kitchen. And then I said, it wasn't out of necessity. They didn't break. It was just because we wanted something new. And now all the new stuff I have is breaking. I just had a $3,200 refrigerator. They totally rebuilt it last summer, And they told me I was lucky I got 9 years out of it. I was like, so every time we watch TV, like Leave It to Beaver was on this morning, I told my wife, I said, look, see that refrigerator? That's still running somewhere in somebody's garage, that 1961 Frigidaire.
That's it. We had one of those Frigidaires at the race car shop. I don't know where we found this thing, but, everything was kind of like rounded.
Right.
The door was not real square. It was curved at the top and at the sides. Had that big long handle you pull, and it was short. When you walked up to it, it was like up to here on you. And it was still what was considered a full size refrigerator.
Right.
And we used to just keep the thing stocked up with beer and soda and iced tea and cold cuts and bread and mayonnaise and mustard. And I think that thing's still running to this day.
So this guy was, I hate salesmen. So this guy was kind of pissing me off and showing us these different machines. And I told my wife, I said, hold on. I said, every machine he showed us, forget about it. What? She goes, why? I said, because he's shown us everything he either wants to get rid of or he's making the most amount of money on. I said, so we're looking at everything else. And she's like, you really overthink this. I'm like, no, I don't. I said, I know how these guys work. I know how. So we left there, went to Home Depot and had no pressure and bought a machine at Home Depot. And then everything else is all electronic. I said, see those electronic controls? That's the first thing that goes bad, that board. And
you'll be putting a circuit board in.
He just had to fix his. He took the board out and, like me, he's capable of repairing a circuit board. But it's potted, which means it's dipped in like a resin and everything is encased like it's going to get wet, right? It's the highest thing. Yeah. I mean, if you have a flood that bad, you have other problems, So I said, nothing that's electronic. I want mechanical controls. I want all mechanical dials.
We had a hot water heater and it was the same thing. Oh, actually, and I knew better. I knew better than this because we bought a Bosch dishwasher, and it was right out of warranty. Should have known. Anything German, same thing. And circuit board was bad because it would, because it had all this programmable stuff and you program it would just act crazy. And I told Jenny, I said, well, if this is anything like a Porsche, it's got to be the control board. I mean, there's nothing. And so, of course, I go online, find a control board for it, and, ordered it, came in, popped it out, popped it in, and thank God, knock on wood, it's been great for the last 10 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
But same thing with our hot water heater. It had some circuit board in it. And I said the same thing, Ray. I was like, oh, it's got to be the circuit board. Popped it all out, took it apart, laid it out, and of course it was dipped in that thing, so I couldn't.
Yeah, they're potted.
Yeah, I couldn't solder or fix anything in there. Luckily, the circuit board wasn't too much money.
My parents' boiler just went out. Same deal.
Yep.
It's the circuit boards.
Mm-hmm.
I
got a store that's about a 10-15 minute ride from my house that just sells parts for every type of appliance.
Yeah.
We got a couple
Whether
here
it's
too,
a start capacitor for your AC compressor or a circuit board. This guy's phenomenal. I go there and I just give him the model number and boom, he's got the part and I fix stuff. It's awesome.
You know what's really cool about this pump? It impressed me. It's actually an induction motor. So the shaft in here,
look at that.
It's got a magnetic cuff.
Wow.
And this is the transformer. So this is the electric part. It causes, it's an electromagnetic motor. So that magnifies and spins the shaft that's in here. I was like, cool. That's really a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to save this and use it for something because it still works.
There you go.
And I'm getting rid of the machine. So
how much was the transmission though?
It was 300 and change.
Oh, for the part, yeah.
Yeah. So I said, okay. So now spend the 300. The machines are like 6, 7. We got one for like $650. I said, is it worth it to put like half the price of a new machine into this old machine where something else may go? Like,
but Ray, now it doesn't match. The wash machine doesn't match the dryer.
It's still, they're both white. They match close enough. Fine.
This knob looks different, and I just can't handle that. That's going to put me over the edge.
I can override that.
We got lucky when our washer went out. Did the same thing, and we ended up getting a scratch and dent deal from a local place. And they're like, well, do you want this brand or that brand? I'm like, I don't care. Does it work? I don't care. And sure enough, it showed up, and the only difference between that and the dryer is the name on it.
Yeah.
Like, that matches enough for me.
Good enough.
I got freaking 2 washing machines.
Oh, wow.
One here in the garage and then one in the laundry room with the dryer because my wife's got so much stuff. But the real reason is I was, when I had the other shop, I didn't have a washing machine over there to do the towels that we use. And a lot of the filters we use have these filter socks. Mm-hmm. And the filter socks get full of all kinds of fish garbage. They literally turn brown. And it gets to the point where the water doesn't even come out of them anymore. They work their way up and they start to overflow.
Right.
So you got to flip them inside out, give them a quick rinse in the sink, and then you throw them in the washing machine and you use pool bleach. Pool chlorine to clean them up.
Yeah.
So Barb was like, well, why don't you just buy a washing machine to put, in the garage? She goes, and then when you're not using it, I could use it if I have to do other stuff. So it's like, okay, what the hell? So that's how I wound up with 2. And then when it came time that I moved into the big shop, I wound up buying a washer and dryer for that place.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do anything here anymore,
Okay.
And I got a really sweet deal from the guy down the block that buys up all this used stuff.
Yeah.
And he gives you a 6-month warranty on it. He says, just return it. I'll give you another one.
Mm.
And it cost me $600 for trying to think. I got a Samsung washer and dryer. And the washer's got like a gazillion different cycles, and it's got a drawer that pulls out that you either put the liquid soap or
That's
the
the new
powdered
stuff,
soap
yeah.
and the bleach. Yeah, it's brand new.
Nice.
And
That's nice.
they're front loaders.
Okay.
And it's same thing with the dryer. So it's a matching set. And the guy says he had them, they were stacked. And he gave me the pieces. He took it apart. He gave me the pieces. He goes, if you want to stack them, here's what you do. And you put the dryer on the top and the washer on the bottom. But I wound up with enough space that I just put them side by side. And then I put like a piece of plywood over the top. So it works out. It's almost like a workbench.
Yeah.
You know, I got a place to put stuff. So it worked out good.
So, Brian, we jamming tonight or what?
I wish. Yeah, I finally got my my guitars, my electric guitars.
Nice. Oh, they came?
Yeah, I got 2. I ordered 5, and then they told me I was getting 2. So I got 2 of them.
Better than none.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I was going to get them. So
you got somebody that's ready to buy them?
No. I'm hoping to. I don't know. I might sit on them a little bit because, and I'm really curious to find, because supposedly another batch is supposed to come in March, and so I'm going to wait and see and sit on them, and I don't know, because if I could sell, I like to keep one. If I could sell it and to pay for both of them, then that's what I want to do. So,
who made them? Gibson?
Yeah, they're Gibsons. And it's really nice. I was really surprised. I took one out and looked, and it needs. Like I said, I don't even know where to begin because the strings are loose. I mean, it's just a bait. You know, it's just sitting there.
Like I said,
you could tune it and play it, but somebody that's like really into guitars would move. You know, all the way down the end on the bridge.
Yeah,
there's screws there, and it
came with this little no instructions, or I don't expect it to have instructions, but it had this little like screwdriver thing, or like a little. It's not like I don't even know what it's. Well, it came with this little tool down by the bottom there. You know, like I said, and a lot of I just looked at it and said, "Man." Of course, everybody just kind of looked at me like, "And what's that for?"
You know, like I said, contact Clay, because he tuned his, and then he had a guy come in. He plays guitar. He knows what he's doing. But he had this other guy come in who's more like a real semi-pro, and that guy really reworked it. And you know,
there's a lot of adjustments on there. You can adjust the pickups up and down and angle them.
And not only that, but like a truss rod guitar where the neck is trussed.
You can move the neck up and down.
Yeah,
left
there's all sorts of stuff that you can get
you
into.
got that adjustment, and I could never. I should actually just ask some of my guitar friends. I just don't understand what those adjustments all the way back at the bridge are.
Yeah,
where there's like a machine screw. You know, and like a block. So when you feed the wire on it, but it moves forward and backwards. And if you look at a guitar that's all customized and tuned up, those things are not in a straight line.
Yeah,
you know, you'll find like one string is a little further forward than the other one, and I don't understand that reasoning, because I look at it from the layman's point of view is you put the string on. And then you turn the key at the top and you tune it.
Right.
And I can understand moving the neck to get the action where you want it to be along the neck and consistent from the lowest notes to the highest notes. And I can understand moving the pickups around so the magnets are, closer or further away from the string, which has to do with the tone, the overall tone, and the amount of voltage that's generated when you're playing. But I don't understand that little movement down at the other end.
I'm not.
I know what a whammy bar does, but
I'm not going to say that I do either, because I'm not a guitar guy. But I think it equates to this. Like if you tune a drum and you tune it correctly. So when you hit it at each lug, you get the same tone. Right. A lot of guys will loosen up just like 2 or 3 of those lugs, like at the bottom or the top of a given drum to get a different sound. Yeah. And I think that's it. It's that fine tuning of the, after you get it locked in.
Right. Because what that's doing is it's changing the distance.
Yeah.
Because in other words, the nut at the top is where, in other words, your vibration is between that piece at the bridge and what they call the nut at the very top, which is that bar that's got the slots in it.
You know what it is.
And that's your vibration point. So if you move that thing forward, you're shortening.
It's
if
exactly
it's all the way
what
back,
it is.
You're lengthening. So that's got to be the fine tuning, you know. And then by turning the knobs at the top, you're bringing it to whatever note it needs to be. And are you a half step up, a half step down? That's all that other shit. Like I got friends, they play guitar. Oh yeah, it's like a drop A.
Well,
like,
yeah. You could go back to school because it's just like we do a lab called transverse waves, and you take a length of string that's 1 meter long, and it goes between a wave driver, and on the other side there's weights. And what you do at a given frequency, you look at the sine wave. And then in the lab, they have to get like 1, 2, and 3 sections. And the way they do it is varying the frequency or varying the weight. And you could also vary the string. So there's a lot of different variables. That's exactly what you're talking about. By shortening that string, you compress that wavelength, and now you get a different tonal pitch, and a different sine wave out of it. Which equates to voltage.
Right.
So it's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand it, but I don't.
It all comes down to science in the end, believe it or not. Yeah. So, Brian, just gotta let us know when the Matco drum kits are coming out. We're like, we need the Matco snare. You just, be cool, like Matco heads. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
that would be really cool.
Yeah,
I tell you, and it's like I said, I'm just glad if I saw that I had gotten. Actually, I was kind of. It rained all day today.
Yeah, it was crappy here too.
Yeah, it was real crappy.
I got up this morning. I walked to the door. I told my wife, I said, I always wonder what it was like to live in London. It's been like wet for like a week.
Yeah,
it's been God. It's terrible.
Bright,
so it was kind of
sunny,
crappy.
Beautiful blue skies.
And I had gotten the notice that I had 2 deliveries. I had 2 packages, and I didn't I didn't understand, or I didn't know the company. I was trying to think. I was like, man, what did I order?
You're like, gee, those aren't the Girl Scout cookies I ordered.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. This isn't, like I said, I hadn't ordered any parts for anything, and I was like, man, I don't know what that is. I said the only thing I'm waiting for is some ink for Brianna's printer that's been stuck in Texas for 2 weeks now. This, my shipment there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know what that is. And I was getting ready because since everybody's home because of winter break, I was like, well, I guess they'll bring it in. Of course, dumb me. I come rolling in the driveway and I see those 2 things up against the garage door. And I'm like, oh, God, they've been sitting in the rain. I'm like,
oh my God.
Like, and luckily, my UPS guy is pretty good, and I do have a pretty good overhang, so they were dry.
Yeah, but it's still it's humid. It's moist.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna open these things up, and it's just gonna be one big like banana peel or something. Just like. So I brought it in open.
Worst weather to put a guitar in a box.
When you talk about it being warm and cold, when Evan did his video when he went to look at that wagon, I guess it was in.
Chicago or Detroit, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh man, it's freaking cold." I'm thinking, yeah, what is it, like 50 degrees? Because like,
no, it was pretty cold up there. They had snow.
And now he did the video today. He's back in. He goes, "I'm driving a car in Florida." Yeah, now you got your short sleeves and your shorts on.
I know. Okay. That's awesome. There's a really good picture on his Facebook page of him standing there fueling the car up.
Oh yeah. He did, that was in the video.
Awesome photograph. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to try and go by there tomorrow. I went by a couple of days ago and he wasn't home. There was no cars on the driveway, but the wagon was sitting there.
All right.
I was like, oh man, he's got no room in his garage because he's got his wife's 70 Camaro on one side.
I like
and his
that car.
Mustang on the other side.
So after last week's show, I went and looked at his videos and found out that it is a Montego wagon.
Right.
And the previous owner turned it into a Cyclone. He put the Cyclone badging on it, Cyclone hood. He actually swapped the interior, put the buckets and console and all of that stuff is out of the Cyclone. That wasn't original to that car.
Oh,
so it's kind of like
cool.
a Resto mod already.
Yeah. I like the fact that they pulled the headlights out.
Yeah, but there's like they put the air duct grills, but they don't do anything. They're fake.
No, but it looks good.
So he was saying in his last video, he's asking people like, "What do you think I should do? Should we keep it stock? Should we change it?" And I'm saying like, it's not.
I wouldn't change anything.
You
I would leave it alone.
But
I'd put a snorkel kit on it.
That's what I would do. I would look for that big Ford dual snorkel air cleaner.
Yeah.
They had them on like the 460s.
Yeah, on the
and run that heater hose. Stuff.
Right into that. That's what I would.
And I noticed that his instead of a wing nut, he's got an actual like 7/16 nut on the. So he's got to use a wrench to get it off. I'm like, take that, put a freaking wing nut on there.
Yeah.
You know, I like that car. It's really cool looking. And it's big.
Yeah.
It takes up his whole driveway.
Yeah.
I don't think his wife is happy about it.
No, huh?
Nah.
Okay.
Because he's got another project.
He's giddy. He's like a kid in the candy store with that thing.
He's got another project he's working on.
Yeah.
They bought that car that looks like the Wood Brothers stuff car.
Right.
That he's doing, with what's his name? Guy that works with him.
Yeah.
Jeez, why do I forget his name?
I forget his name too.
Yeah. So they got that in St. Pete. They got a shop in St. Pete where they're working on that deal.
Yeah.
So he's got a boatload of stuff.
So I made my last trip of the year to the record store today, and I picked up a bunch of stuff. I actually picked up a copy of King Crimson, Court of the Crimson King.
Oh, that's nice.
From 1960.
That's got a cool cover.
Yeah, it's that guy's face. It's like,
yeah.
But I wanted Court of the Crimson King. I wanted the rest of I played it tonight. The rest of the album I could do without. Well, you know what I found? I'm always looking for. I always forget the name. There's a couple of orchestras that I love that do like backing stuff. And what I found was 2 albums from the Tonight Show. It was Doc Severinsen and the Tonight Show Band.
Doc was good.
And it was the first album, then it was like part 2. And, when that band would play, they would rock. Those guys were like, Ed Shaughnessy on the drums.
I know,
those guys
Ed's good, man. Double bass.
They would, not in all years, but But they were tight. That band was definitely a tight jazz band.
They were good. I kind of felt bad for Ed though, because every now and then
Buddy Rich would
get Buddy Rich on there,
right?
And they would do these drum battles.
Yeah,
and you could tell straight up that Ed could not keep up with him.
Well, not many people ever could. But you know what? That's the thing. I mean, I grew up like you did, being a Buddy Rich fan. I still am. But when I think that a lot of times he was just trying to prove that he was the fastest.
Yeah.
And truthfully, if he would have dialed it down, like a little more of a groove or a pocket drummer, to me, that's more impressive, because fast is just, it's like watching Bruce Lee. It's like fast. But, and he was able to keep it up for a long time. So he definitely he won the crown, no doubt about it. But I've watched a lot of Ed Shaughnessy stuff, and he's more of a jazz pocket type groove drummer.
Yeah.
And to me, it's easier. It's nicer to listen to.
I was flipping through my Facebook page, and they always, I don't know why they do it all the time. They'll bring up like stuff that you did in the past.
Oh yeah.
Posts from the past. So there was, because today is Buddy Rich's birthday. So there was a post that I had made 4 years ago on his birthday, and it was like about a 8 or 9 minute drum solo.
Okay.
And I watched it again. I rewatched it because I was watching his hands, and I was not. Do you notice that the angle that he keeps his snare drum at?
Yeah.
It's high on the left and really low in the front. You know, it's like a reverse angle. When I learned how to play, you always had your snare drum like your drum pad. It was up on the left side, down on the right side.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Basically flat. You know what I'm saying? Even front and back. His is tipped way down underneath the first tom-tom. And real high on the left-hand side.
Right.
Yeah, he tilted it forward. So it was up real high at the back, and it was up high on the left side, but real low, you know, facing the bass drum.
That's kind of how I
was watching him do this with his left hand, and he was doing single stroke rolls and flams with one hand. He was doing some stuff on the floor toms, and he was like, and I'm like, oh, this dude had hands.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, he's like not even 16ths. He's probably 32nd notes on the left hand. He's doing just single boom, boom, just accent notes with the right.
One of the things that he does a ton of, and I tried literally for like months and could never get it, that shit that he does on the hi-hat where he's hitting the top cymbal with his right hand, and he's got his left hand below, and he's doing, and he's like using his thumb and index finger, and he's opening and closing, and he's using his foot, and I could never get that hi-hat work like he did. I was lost on it, and I'm like, how the hell did he do that stuff, you know?
But like you said,
that was like something that was like his thing. He did that.
Yeah, that was one of his things. Yeah, but
and hitting the cymbals from underneath and then on top.
He would hit the bass drum. He'd hit the rims. He'd play everything. He played the whole kit.
Yep.
But when I got this kit, I kind of set that snare up that way because that's how I used to have it many years ago. And I said, this sucks. And then I went to the high left, bottom, right low, and the reason that works so well, especially for a right-handed drummer, is because that's how a marching drum sits. Mm-hmm. Now, I never played in a marching band, but if you did, the drum sits left high, right low, and it's ergonomically perfect for a right-handed drummer. So it makes sense to do the snare.
But then he went one step further and lifted up the back of the drum.
Right.
I'm like, but you could see through, the way the camera was, it's perfect angle for his left hand.
For him, right.
Yeah, I can't play like that because I play match grip and switch to conventional.
Yeah, I don't
so
switch.
My snare drum is flat.
Yeah.
My snare drum flat.
Yeah, it's whatever works for you. That's the thing. You got to find out what works for you.
Yep.
How's your snare drum, Justin? How do you set yours?
I don't.
It's like Brian.
I wish when I was younger I did pick it up, but unfortunately don't play any music instruments.
Yeah. See, I kicked myself in the ass because my mother sent me for piano lessons when I was in elementary school, and I absolutely hated it. And then later on, synthesizers were invented.
Yeah.
And then, in the 70s, you could basically be your own band.
Yep.
And I'm like, what an asshole. Said that to my wife a couple times. She goes, why don't you go take piano lessons?
Yeah.
She goes, you got a keyboard. We bought the kid a keyboard years ago.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a drummer, you kind of got that, but that was a stupid thing to stop, Because I've said it numerous times. I want to be the guy that, like you're walking through the airport and there's a piano there. It's like, play me. And I want to sit down and I want to start banging out some Billy Joel stuff,
Yeah.
I want to be that guy, I want to be at the Grand Floridian at Disney and sit down at that grand piano that they got sitting there and just start playing Angry Young Man or something, People come around when you do that.
Oh, yeah. I found many more guitar players play piano than drummers.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe someday in the next couple of years when I'm not building cars, I can have the time to take that up again. I actually should go take drum lessons again.
Yeah.
I started that and then I stopped because I was just so busy.
Right.
I had a great drum teacher. The guy's phenomenal, but now he lives in Orlando. And he was just great. And then for a while I was taking in the beginning, I was taking lessons with David Dix from the Outlaws, which to me that was like, oh, I can't believe this. Here I am playing Ghost Riders on the Storm with the guy that actually recorded it. You know?
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Green Grass and High Tides.
Green Grass and High Tides, all of that stuff. You know?
Yeah. I like the Outlaws.
If
I saw them at the Hofstra Playhouse.
Really?
You know, it's like a big bar. You know, it's not a big
I've seen
venue.
stuff there because my dad was a professor there.
Yeah, it's a small venue, and
you know what's even better? Did you ever go see any of the shows at the Coffee House there?
Not in the Coffee House, no.
Yeah, I went. That's where I saw Billy Cobham.
Oh, jeez.
Chick Corea.
Christ.
And Stanley Clark.
I was just looking for a Stanley Clark album today. I'm looking for School Days.
I love School
can't
Days.
find I had a copy. It's gone. I cannot find. I found all this other latest stuff, but I can't find School Days.
School Days is my favorite of his albums.
How about just that beginning bass line? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, loud too.
Yeah, he was the master of the bass, man.
It's unreal. Yeah, my dad, he used to get tickets to everything there.
Yeah.
And he came home one night and he's like, I got 4 tickets to this show Friday night at the Coffee House on campus. He said, some jazzy stuff. Some guy, Billy Cobham, and some piano player, Chick Corea. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Give me those.
Oh, I was a Cobham fan from the 70s.
I got there early, and I was actually, me and my girlfriend, and 2 of my friends, we were sitting in the very front row. I was about 6 feet away from Billy Cobham.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I'll send you some pictures because a few years ago, there's a venue out in Bayshore now. It used to be a YMCA, and now it's I think it says YMCA on the side, but it was a movie theater. It's converted now. It's like what they did at the Capitol Theater in Jersey. They just do music acts. They do some comedy and stand-up. So the acoustics are perfect. And I saw Cobham there just a couple of years ago, and we were like second or third row. So again, you're like right there. And I have my camera, so I'm sneaking pictures the whole night. But
did you ever notice his tom-toms, that he's got like a small one where a larger one should be?
Oh, I never. Yeah.
Did you ever look at that? You can see charts online, on how they set up their stuff. And he's got like small, big, then small, then big.
Right.
And there was this whole story about it. A friend of his was helping him in the early days set up for a concert, and he hung the wrong tom. And Billy decided, I'm just going to keep it like that, and it's been like that forever.
Wow.
When he sets up his kit, he's always got one high-pitched tom where a deeper one should be.
Okay.
And he's never changed it.
Yeah, you get used to it, and that's it.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. That was a cool little story. He's phenomenal. That guy's unbelievable. You get lost trying to copy his stuff.
Forget about it.
Play some insane time signatures, switch time signatures in between, and God. Talk about being a busy drummer, That guy was busier than Neil Peart any day.
Let me see if this will work. Slides. I don't want slides. It ain't gonna work. Share screen. These are 2 monitors. Best on a good screen sharing works best on a good computer.
Versus that bad computer.
I got Microsoft nagging me on my desktop to change to 11. Oh, there we go.
There he is.
Yep.
That's Billy Cobham.
Look, see the small tom?
Yep, I see it right in
between
the
two big ones. Yeah.
That was the kid he was playing.
Yeah.
This is the camera was giving me trouble. They had a guy playing a little violin. They were doing some.
You know who was an awesome violin player?
This guy's Dean Brown.
Trying to think of the guy's name. Jaco Pastorius?
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
There's a guy that played jazz violin. I think it was Jocko.
That name is familiar.
Phenomenal stuff. And he toured with Cobham for a while.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. That progressive type jazz.
Yeah. In the day, that was definitely out there. Yeah.
And the songs were all long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the albums. It's like an ELP song. It's just broken into different segments, and one just rolls into the next. But yeah, he's phenomenal.
Brian,
what are you doing, Brian? Resoling your shoes?
No.
Looks like it. The hell are you doing?
I got well, I screwed it up, but
That's not good.
I know. I had a flashlight that I warranted, and I was going to try to fix it, but it's the aluminum seized. It has metal threads.
Right.
It's older. Actually, I should have just left it alone. It's a very old mag light.
Yeah.
Right. The front comes off and the back comes off. And the whole thing's aluminum.
And it's even like I got this LED one from Luke.
Uh-huh.
And in the back.
Luca Brazzi?
Yeah. But this one takes a battery, but it's aluminum threads. And I just always take and put just a drop of oil on there.
Yeah.
Just to lubricate a little bit, and it's nice and smooth.
And the guy, this guy was like, "This flashlight's fucked up," and I was like, "Dude, that flashlight's like from 1980. I mean, it's you're not
my favorite."
And he's like, "Yeah, it's my favorite. Like, can't live without it." And I was like, "Well, I got this light here." So he bought it, and so he took the light and chucked it. So I pulled it out because I was like, "Man, I want to take that thing, and I could probably." And
you should have just
I got a little impatient.
If he let it go, you should let it go.
Yeah, well, I like rebuild. You know me, I got to rebuild or take it apart and see how.
I do the same thing. That's why now I'm going to take the rest of this washer apart. I'm going to take this transmission apart just to see what went wrong. My wife's like, "You bought a new one. What are you doing?" I'm like, "I got to see it. I got to see where the failure."
And you're going to be really pissed off when you take it all the way apart, get it down, and it's like something
just jammed up in there.
Yeah, well, some stupid like a keyway pen broke and it's not turning a gear or something. All you had to do was slide in a toothpick to get it back working again. You know what I'm saying? I
was reading online on some of the sites, and one guy had wrote and said he just needed he took his machine all apart. He says, "Listen, on this shaft of this component," he goes, "there's a bushing at the bottom." He goes, I need that bushing." He goes, "But you only sell the whole assembly for like $300 or whatever." He goes, "I just need the bushing. Do you sell it separately?" Mm-hmm. And they wrote back, "No, sorry, it's an assembly. We don't break it up." And it's so I get what the guy's doing. Like, you want to repair it, you just need that part, But sometimes you can't get that part.
Right.
Find a good local machinist.
I've got this is to a die grinder. This is the end of the die grinder, and this is the pinion that goes on there. Uh-huh. And it's got a keyway that broke. That's why it stopped or that it wasn't. This was the pinion was spinning on the other piece. It wasn't turning the shaft. And I don't know how the pin, but I can't find the keyway because it comes all together.
Right.
So I'm like trying to figure out how I can make a keyway to go in here.
Well, you need to make the key itself.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I mean, I don't have a lathe or I don't have whatever. So I mean, I don't have.
Well, by us, Ace Hardware has a really good selection of They actually have keys in all different.
I've gone through my Ace, and we have a. It's a private brand. It's Anthony's or Michael. I mean, it's just a guy.
Michael Anthony.
It's a guy. Just can't think of his guy's name, but it's it's a private brand. He's not affiliated with, and he's got the best. I mean, this place when you walk in, it smells like a hardware store. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Wooden floor.
This guy, and he's got the best hardware selection,
except for.
Well, yeah, I can't find the.
So let me ask you: the new Matco die grinder that came out with the flexible head,
the cutting, it's a cutter.
It's a.
Can't you cut a piece of stock?
Wheel on. Do you think that's going to be a problem down the road with that flexible head, or no? Yeah,
Mac had it for years.
Okay,
they just lost their patent, and that's why we have it.
All right.
Woo! Stealing technology.
I see they've been pushing that. Oh, shit. It looks interesting, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I've never shut off the compressor last week.
Really?
Compressor sounds a little rough there, Johnny boy. Better go. So, and the funny part was, I've been digging through all my parts, and every one. I mean, these all look the same. I mean, now this is the one. This is the one I'm rebuilding. Okay. This is the one that goes to the broken piece. So I dug through and I found a couple different ones, and they all, all quarter drive, but all of the chucks, not chucks, but keyways are different sizes.
Huh. Go figure.
Yeah.
Come on, you can make something to stuff in there.
Actually, I'm half tempted now, I think. I don't know if I could
get a piece of flat stock, whittle off a piece, and hammer
I think
it
I'm
in
going to stick this on here and get the MIG welder out and put a little tack weld on it.
That'll do it.
That's where you need that TIG.
That's right. If I can line it up,
go right around that thing.
I got a hole there. If I can line it up,
you don't even need filler rod. Just melt it in.
Yeah. But knowing my luck, then the bearing behind it will go, and the guy will say, "Hey, you fixed it once. Can you fix it again?"
No.
Yeah, I know.
One-time fix.
Mm-hmm.
So one-time fix. So I don't know. I found one that was really close. I don't know. I might just have to get my diamond wheel out or my diamond file and start cutting on it.
Right.
Try to get it down.
Sure.
But I just can't say no.
So I over-engineered myself. I decided I was gonna stop using my HydroSeal carburetor cleaner and go with ultrasonic, right? So okay. Yeah, I got a small ultrasonic, but you can't do a carburetor in it. So I'm looking, and typical sizes like 8 liter, 10, 20. Those were the common sizes for the ultrasonics. So 20 looked like it might work. But without seeing it in front of me, just looking on a computer, I really can't tell. And they measure them from outside. They don't give you the inside measurement. So, and my wife says, "Well, tell me what you want. I'll get it for you for Christmas." I'm like, "All right, I'll find one." So I said, "Okay, I can't trust the 20 that it's going to work. So I went with a 30."
Yeah.
The fucking thing, 17 inches tall, 23 inches long. It's about 15 inches wide. I don't know where to put it. I don't have room for this thing. I'm like, holy shit. I'm making an ottoman out of it. I like put my feet on it. I'm like, where am I going to put this gigantic thing? But it'll fit a carburetor.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man.
You just all you gotta do is go put some casters on it, and you can just roll it around and roll it up underneath whatever and roll it back out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because that's one thing about my garage. Everything's got to have wheels on it because it's got to be able to roll or move. Because like I said, space is so limited.
Oh yeah.
And
well, I was picturing. I'm sitting there at night. I'm going to sleep, and I'm thinking, okay, under my bench in the back, I took a parts washer and I sunk it into the bench because this is the tabletop one. So I don't have room underneath because it goes underneath. But I know on the left side I have a chop saw under there with a composite wheel. I think I've used it like twice. If I got to cut steel, instead of taking that thing out, I use my whiz wheel or I use a Sawzall. But so in my head I was thinking, okay, where the saw is I could probably clear out some room to the right and slide this thing under there. So I went out to the garage yesterday and I actually looked. Boy, was my sense of space off. The saw's got to go and the stuff's got. That's the only thing that's going to fit in there. I don't have room for both. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
But it'll fit in there once I get rid of the saw. But
hey, are those new diamond blades?
They're awesome.
Is that the way to go on a chop? I had to buy a new blade for the chop saw.
Heard good things about them.
And I was looking at the diamond blade, but it was like for the 14-inch diamond blade, it's like $97.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh boy, you know, I could probably buy that once and never have to buy another blade.
A guy at the body shop, he uses the small ones, like the 3 or 4 inch ones, and he swears by them.
I just had one. I changed over all mine to the diamond, and they're awesome. They're awesome. You like on a die grinder, I mean not on a die, but a cutoff. You don't want, if you drop it, if it's bent, it's fucked. I mean, you know, you're not.
Well, see, the thing about the diamond one though, it doesn't shrink like the composite ones, right?
No, it doesn't. No,
stays the same size.
Stays the same size.
You know, on a chop, if you spend the money for the one on the chop, because you know on the chop saw the blade just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
So finally, like you can't cut with it anymore. You know.
Right.
So I was saying to myself, well, you know, that diamond blade, it's going to stay 14 inches the whole time.
Yeah, I do like with I use the 3-inch ones all the time, and if you're doing a lot of heavy stuff, it's like it's getting smaller and smaller. Like I can finish, I can get in there.
Yeah. That's it. I buy them in like packs of 20.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
I buy the cheap ones because
Harbor Freight sells them.
Yeah, until you lose an eye. It's all right until you lose an eye.
Well, I always
most things
goggles.
are.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until you got to wear an eye patch. Come on, John. Jesus Christ, man. We already know you're
buy the ones that have the ribbing in them.
You didn't have to blame. Look, John, we come from the same cut. You didn't have to blame that you're a fat, white, lazy guy and didn't want to walk across the shop. You're a cheap bastard, and you were using every piece of material on the job. So it's okay.
I've never heard of anybody stitching electrodes together. I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time. I'd weld till they're about that big.
You know, I'll tell you what.
Lay them out on the jig table, and then turn up the heat on the TIG, and put them against each other, and just slam the pedal down. And then I'd wind up with a piece that was like a foot long, and then I could keep going. I could get all the way around that tube.
I do have these aluminum rods that you can use. It's like aluminum brazing, but you can do it with a propane torch.
Yeah.
And when they start getting shorter, you can't hold them because they get too hot. So I've actually kind of like puddled them together. I made this one Frankenstein one out of all the little pieces, you know. So that I've done.
I've TIG welded with a stub because I didn't want to get out from underneath the car on the chassis table. I'm like sideways. I got the pedal there. I didn't want to get out, and I would grab I would always have tools around me. I'd grab a pair of needle nose pliers.
Yeah.
And there I am with the needle nose pliers with the piece of welding rod, and I'm TIG welding using doing that.
Right.
Nikki was like, "You're fucking man. You're a maniac."
Yeah.
I was like, I'm too lazy to go over there.
What kind of weird shit do you do, Justin? You got to do something. You got to have something in you.
Oh yeah. We do a lot of that.
Yeah.
We have pretty well stocked shop. So.
Yeah, but do you get up and get something, or do you just improvise?
Well, sometimes improvise, especially if we're under a car.
Yeah.
Sitting there. That one Camaro I built, you're bent around this roll cage bar or upside down in the trunk.
Pain in the neck. Yep.
So, do I really want to get out of here? Not really.
I thought I put a diamond wheel on. This is what you were talking about, Ray.
You twist it's a twist collar.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
All right, so it goes about 30 degrees, I guess, right? It's not
it's 50.
Is it 50?
That's what it says, 50. I guess that's full travel.
Oh, okay. It looks like it went more up than it went down.
Yeah.
Unless that's an optical illusion.
Optical.
I guess.
So,
I mean,
I thought I put it.
Have you used that to see where it really comes in handy?
No, but this is my newest to my. And it's got forward and reverse.
Get out of here.
Reverse.
Yeah, you got forward and then you have reverse.
So you can blow the sparks in a different direction.
Yeah,
that's nice.
If you had to cut like this in front of you for whatever stupid reason, at least you can get the.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially under the car.
Just ducking a little, let it go past my ear.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's cool.
That's a great idea.
That's having forward and reverse.
Yeah, we had another one, or I have another one that I had been using, and I loved it because of the forward and reverse. It worked really good, and for years and years, this tilt piece was only a Mac thing. Mac had the rights on it or whatever, and I guess the patent ran out because we got it now too.
Right.
So I was kind of hoping we would have other colors. I guess that will be coming, but right now, my blue impacts are coming. I can't wait.
Oh, nice.
And I haven't gotten my screwdrivers yet either. We just finally got the blue screwdrivers.
Right.
Love that blue.
Oh yeah.
And then talk about having issues and problems, but I found on the side of the road a whole bunch of washers.
And you had to pick them up.
I had to. So
you are worse than me.
Yeah, I'm really bad.
I will draw a line somewhere.
I don't.
I know.
I don't.
I mean, believe me, I have stopped and backed up to pick stuff up that I saw on the road. But
my wife, when we get in the car and drive, she says, "Don't look over there. Don't keep," because I will stop and go back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh well. Hey, if you can't take, F you. I don't care.
Hey, you're gonna come up on 2:22:22.
Nice.
There we go.
The time clock.
I'll let you know how it works out. But I thought I put a diamond a diamond wheel in it, but I didn't. Because I got a handful of those diamonds. They work really good. It took me a while before I changed though, because I was a little skeptical on them. But and my other one, it worked great until I dropped it and I bent it, and I was pissed because, like you said, how long? I mean, I don't use it every day. I'm not like Justin where you're really using or going through a lot, but for the expense of it and then have it fuck up.
Well, I read that for like 4 or 4.5 inch ones, you could use them to cut and you could use them to grind.
Yeah.
Because it's got the diamond on 2 surfaces.
Yeah, the 3-inch ones that I have, I've done that with my 3-inch ones. I've done both
to take that wheel?
How
like
coarse is it when you
straighten it out?
Yeah.
I tried to beat on it, and it didn't really. It was very wobbly still. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't easy to use.
Sell one to the guy you don't like.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but we'll see how that is. Hopefully, this coming year I can really get working on a few things. I got a few changes going on here in the garage, and hopefully some of the stuff will be cleaned out and gone.
We should do like like when you get like a Secret Santa and you gotta buy something for someone, you draw a name. We should all make a list of the things that we say we're gonna do this year, and then we should just swap the lists. So we gotta watch each other. Justin, how's that project coming? How's that?
No, well,
you know? Keeping us on our toes.
I mean, in other areas, I mean, from my list, I've done a lot. I'm very, I'm kind of proud of myself for this year, but there was a few things I never got to, which really.
It's always that way.
Yeah, I know. I try. Of course, I got so much going on, and the only thing that's going to put a curveball in, I'm going to try to get my mom to put the house up for sale and move her out. So that's going to be that's going to take up some time, because once we got to clean that, I mean, that's a 3-story colonial.
Wow.
You know, and there's a lot of stuff. You know, it's
look, you could just move in over there as like a second residence. I got a whole nother place to fill up. 3 more stories.
We got to be careful, Ray, saying that, because my wife just might take you up on that offer of getting me out of the house. So, you know,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Since all the old neighbors are gone, I don't know if any of the new ones would really like the activities that I.
It's all right. You're grandfathered in.
Yeah, I'm grandfathered.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, who knows? Like I said, that's working on right now. I mean, my parents' house, or my mom's house, it's been updated, it's been renovated, it's still in immaculate shape. You know, it's only been a year that Dad's been gone, and he kept he paid the lawn service like 3 years out so that she had lawn service. You know what I'm saying? But the house is just way too big for, she's only in 3 rooms. And
sure.
Of course, with the way the market is, she's going to make a killing on the house.
Now's the time to sell.
And
what size of the property it sits on?
It's probably only like maybe a half acre, quarter acre, a little over, almost a half, I would imagine.
That's all right.
My yard's, I have a 3/4 of acre here. Mine's a little bit bigger than theirs, but my house isn't nowhere near the size of theirs.
Right.
So, like
I
said,
if you put the contents of their house in a ship, they couldn't sink it, and yours would.
Yeah, well, no shit. Yeah, I got that. Like I said,
I know I could do the same thing.
Well, the only thing, like I said, like I said, my dad had, he did a lot of woodworking, and he's got one hell of a shop with a lot of equipment, and that's what I got to kind of work on, trying to find a place for, because I don't want it to go anywhere. I mean, it's always been my anything that I've been done, any kind of project, and I need to go rip some wood. He's got every saw imaginable, planer. He's got everything, and I just go over there and do everything, and then come back and finish my project.
So
I don't want to lose that.
There.
Huh?
You got to move over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I could find room for. I don't want to. I don't really want to lose them.
A wood shop is like mastering an instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really gotta be tuned into what you're doing, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because growing up as a kid, my dad was always in his woodworking shop, and on the weekends, and between, of course, his yard, and it still is, but his yard was like a golf course. I mean, it was immaculate. We weren't allowed to walk on it. We weren't allowed to park a car on it. We weren't allowed to do
nice.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, it was immaculate. And
did he cut it with one of those rotary blades?
No, it was a self-propelled Toro that he had.
Toro's got a self-propelled Toro for a while.
But like I said, between the yard and his woodworking, but I always wondered, like he'd be down there and you could hear the saw going and all kinds of stuff, beating and banging and all things, but nothing ever came out. It was like, okay, like we don't have a new shelf or we don't have a new piece of furniture, but it was down there. And it wasn't until I moved to my house but instead of wood, it's all metal, because Jenny would say, you're down there making all kinds of noise. And I was just like you said, he was just making wood chips and I was making metal chips.
Yeah.
It was therapy,
Right.
So, again, I always thought it was funny, but he, like I said, he would go down there and beat and bang and cut on stuff, and I was like, there's never ever new furniture or anything. So,
well, let's face it. I mean, being a furniture maker is a really specific art.
Yeah, I know.
It.
That's what my brother did. Design. He designed. He designed furniture, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
He did. Well, he's up there. He's over by you, Ray.
I thought it was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's over in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's not really by me, but
it's all in the same state.
Yeah. I could get there pretty quick.
You get there a little quicker than I could. You know what I'm saying?
Train ride away.
Yeah. So, but he worked for a place that did furniture, and
I have a couple friends who did that, cabinet making, furniture making, and this one guy went from cabinet making and he started doing interior stuff. He would do, back through the 80s, he did a lot of laminate and a lot of Formica.
Yeah.
But when he would butt the Formica on a counter, he went in there and he had a router where he could route it on a 45. Mica is only like what?
Yeah.
25,000.
Yeah.
So when he laid it together, the seam disappeared.
Wow.
I was like, man, that's cool. That's
and that right there. I mean, like I said, cutting. I couldn't even imagine trying to cut that without it exploding. Chipping or popping.
Well, you're cutting the bottom side, which is good because the bottom side is like it almost looks like it's masonite almost.
Yeah.
So you're cutting the bottom edge. But then again, the other one you have to cut the top edge. That's right, because it has to overlap. And I mean the overlap is only maybe, I'm 20 thou. I don't know. It's not a lot.
No.
But
it's insane. Watching those guys. Well, like I said, that's almost like you said when you watch a good body guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm always amazed on. I don't have the patience. I get a little too jumpy.
I gotta tell you, I kind of feel weird even telling the story. I was amazed. I had to stop the shop. It was a couple of weeks ago. I had to pick up a couple tools, do some work at the house. And now there's a guy over there who's like, he's a Rasta. And he came from the other shop, Rastafari.
Hey, man.
And I've seen him. He's a nice guy, real nice guy. So I walked in and I hadn't been over there in a while. So there was no work. So they had like one of those body shop tables, where they set up, and it with like 5 bumpers on it right in front of my toolbox. So I just started moving it so I could wiggle in, and he's like, "Oh man, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just gotta move. I gotta get into the toolbox." "Oh, that's your toolbox, man." I'm like, "Yeah, that's mine." I said, "Just gotta get some. I don't need. I moved the bumpers." Like, "No, you don't have to go move everything. It's all right. Just need a little bit of space." He's like, "Oh, you're the mechanic. You're the mechanic." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh man," he goes, "You're a legend. You're a legend. I'm like, "A legend?" I'm like, "In whose mind?" I'm like, "Certainly not in my own mind." He goes, "Man, I hear stories about you. They say you fix everything." I'm like, "Well, everything they threw at me, I fixed. Yeah, you do the electric, you do the carburetor, you do the motor. Yeah. I said, "You were talking to Mike, weren't you? He's the owner." He goes, "Yeah, I said, "Yeah, because I fixed all his cars." So I said, "Listen, don't get too full of yourself where I'm concerned." I said, I know what I know, and that's it. So I was over there yesterday, and I'm sitting in the office, and he comes through, and he goes, "Oh, mechanic, you're back." I'm like, calm down, just take it easy. I was like, because you're a body man, I said, and I really, I'm in awe of what you guys do.
Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah.
And I saw my mailman today. I just came home. I parked the FJ. He pulls onto the block, and he had a box for us. So he gets out, and he's like, "Oh!" And that's the guy we gave him the
Hot Wheel.
gave
the
FJ,
Matchbox. Yeah.
and he gave it to his son. So he goes to tell me how, my son got that car and he loves it. And I was like, "Listen, dude," I said, "you got to get that car. You got to get that back from him." I said, "You got to steal it back from him." I said, "Because you need that." I said, "No, better yet, you got to get a real one." He goes, "Oh, I'd love to, man." Another one. He's from, I don't know where, some island somewhere. So he's another guy with an accent. I said,
"Yeah.
Oh, well."
There was a FJ in one of my body shops. That motherfucker was torn up, dude. That thing was. I was actually really surprised, and the guy even was surprised. I was talking to the owner of the shop, and I was like, "Man, that thing's really effed up." And he was like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "I don't know. We're going to find parts for this thing, And
I got a line at a couple of junkyards that have a lot of FJ stuff.
And so I was really surprised because it was like 2 weeks later that thing was being detailed and getting ready to leave, and I was like, "Man, you were able to find part?" He goes, "Don't ask me." He said everything. I said, "I can't even find a part for a Honda whatever, or I got cars that have been sitting around waiting forever." He goes, "I ordered the stuff showed up. The car's done, and now," he goes, "I thought this one was going to be here forever," and it's
the
amazing.
fenders, Brian, the front fenders are like $95 a piece.
Yeah,
brand new. Yeah, brand new. Like, wow, that's pretty cool.
But I don't know what year it was. White
doesn't matter. It's all the same
I know.
parts. Yeah,
but I don't know what year. But it was a white, and it had it was like a off-white color, and but that thing, I don't know what he hit, but he tore up the whole driver's side. It was all wrinkled up, and
that's not good.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
I took mine to Queens the other night.
Yeah,
I went to a restaurant in Whitestone, like cruising across island in the FJ. That's an urban assault vehicle.
Yeah,
man.
And then how to park it. Oh, well.
Yeah. So, I didn't have I was going to take a picture and tell you to watch out. That thing. I figured, I was really surprised that they were able, because they had to do suspension work, everything. It was all
available.
Yeah, it was all there, and got it. So I was surprised.
Amazing what you can do with the parts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But like I said,
especially when you have them.
Getting the parts is the hard part these days.
Yeah.
Right.
So
ain't that the truth?
I got a set of stainless steel roller rockers this week.
Stainless? Wow.
Yeah. Like Comp Cams makes them.
Mm-hmm.
Stainless steel. Guy had a set, and he's got problems, so he was dumping stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I looked him up on what I would pay. And then they're brand spanking new, still in the box. Never been put on a motor ever.
Right.
All the poly locks are there.
Uh-huh.
Box is clean and looks like brand new. And I got him. It was like $75 less than I would pay for.
Oh, good.
So I jumped on that. And then for $30, he gave me a polished aluminum timing cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I missed. It was because it was on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw the roller rockers, and I'm like, "Well, you know what? I want to get rid of the stamped steel rockers on this motor that's going in the car." So those would be perfect because they'll bolt right on.
Right.
And then I messaged him. Then I saw the timing cover. A couple of ads down, there was some other people had put ads in there, and it was the same guy. And I'm like, and I messaged him again. I'm like, "Oh, I'll take that timing cover too." And then he got back to me, and I'm like, "When are you around?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I at my mechanic shop. I'm there all the time. You know, come on over. And while I'm like reading what he's doing, and I'm looking over and I'm scrolling, and then like 6 ads down, he had noisy gear drive.
Oh, Pete Jackson
for the big block.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I'll take that gear drive too. And he about 3 minutes later he messaged me back on Facebook. He goes, somebody just bought it. I'm mailing it away. I'm like, son of a bitch. Could have had because when I built that car originally with the big block, I had the Mylodon gear drive, which is the 3-gear deal.
Right.
Yeah,
I
just love the sound of those gears turning the camshaft.
Right.
You know, it's almost like a blower sound.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a rough idle, it's like, you know, it changes. Right. So for the amount of money he wanted for the 4-gear noisy deal, you just throw it in there. I'm like, that would have been awesome. And then somebody bought it on the internet. They PayPal'd them for it. I'm like, bitch.
It was funny.
What stuff that you got? He's like, well, I got blocks. I got heads. I got blocks. I got 3 sets of aluminum heads. I don't need that.
I had a customer I was going through. It was on Facebook Marketing, and it was a set of rockers and polylocks. I can't remember the name, and it was something else. Springs. I don't know enough springs.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was a whole setup for a small block Ford or whatever, and he was selling them, and I said, "Hey, I could take this off your bill." I could take X amount off on your bill when I come by Wednesday. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, what else you got? And he had, I don't know if he still does it because I haven't seen him, but he had a T5 transmission that came out of
a transmission.
Yeah. And I was like, well, maybe I'll put, I still want my top. I don't know. I'm fond of my top loader.
I was this close to putting a top loader back in this car.
Yeah.
I loved having a top loader.
Oh, John, I thought of you last week. I go to the Christmas party over at the UD, the undisclosed location, the garage where all the cars are, and we just get to talking. And I'm talking with the one guy. We're talking about transmissions and 4 speeds. And he goes, "Yeah, I got a T10." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a T10 too." He goes, "Oh, I got a T10." He goes, "I got a cast iron box." I'm like, "Really?" I said, "No, mine's aluminum." He goes, "Yeah, and it's got a super shifter on it." He goes, "It's around here somewhere." So we go over by the beer fridge, and he just starts kicking stuff around. He goes, "Oh, there it is." So I look down, and I see like an input shaft. So I'm like, "Is it all right if I call?" Yeah, get it. I'm pulling something up, like there it is, a T10 with a super shifter on it. I said, "Man, with the straight rods." I'm like, "Man, we were talking about this so many times." It's like I almost
I'm
left
so pissed off that Hurst would discontinue that shifter.
I know.
Why?
Probably so they could come back one day and reproduce it.
Well, because now when you go to buy them, you've got all these guys. They do the same thing with drum kits. They strip them,
right, and
sell everything individually.
Yeah.
If you go on Racing Junk, you look around every now and then, you'll see it on Facebook Marketplace. You'll see a guy selling the mounting plate for the super shifter, rods for an M22, the actual shifter itself, and then he sells the stick, and the ball. And guys like that just piss me off.
I know. They do that everywhere.
Yeah.
And with everything, yeah.
But yeah, when I had the big block with the Ford top loader with the Super Shifter 3 with the little red T handle, down to lock out reverse, 4 3/4 inch throw. That was the most fun I ever had. And Barb was like, "No, you got to put an automatic in this one." She says, "You're putting a clutch in the other car. I want an automatic in this one."
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So it was funny though.
Yeah.
I told the guy. I said, "What else you got?" He's got, like I said, he's got a T5. I don't know if he ever got rid of it because he didn't want that much for it. So
well, there's a lot of them out there. It's not it's not a rare item, but
no. But I'm just saying, doing it the way that I did it, especially on the other stuff, I I didn't really lose that much. I got it for a better deal. So
I'm looking today on Marketplace. My friend Kevin sends me a link to Marketplace, and the guy he's got a ton of Pontiac stuff. And I said to him, I said, it's a good thing we don't live near this guy, because we'd be bringing home. We do what we did like in Randall's Island. We'd be filling his van and bringing it, engines. We bought engines, you name it. So he's got a set of 670 heads, which were the 1966, 67 400 heads. I have a set of them. And this guy's got $1,000 for these heads. I was like, I don't know if he's going to get that. But guys,
pay it.
If a guy's, I almost had mine sold. I was going to give them to a guy for $700 a couple of years ago, and then he backed out. But if you're doing like a period correct resto, and you can see the number right above the center exhaust port, so it's easy to see it. You got to have it if that's what you want. But I was like,
that's the one thing I didn't like about the Pontiacs is those Siamese exhaust ports would always burn the paint off.
Oh, always, yeah.
So you always had this,
right?
The engine would start out Pontiac blue, and after a couple of heat cycles, it turned into Pontiac green.
Yeah, right.
It's like a green gold color.
Yeah, and then those Siamese ports on both sides, the paint would always blister off, even if you used the high temp stuff.
Right.
And you would wind up with like 2 rusty cast iron ports.
Right.
That 69 Trans Am we restored a couple years ago. Same deal.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, it was always pretty easy putting headers on a Pontiac motor because the port comes out and curves down. So the header was almost like, the header was like almost like coming up to the head, as opposed to with a Chevy where the header curves over. So you kind of like jiggling it around. Sometimes you got to jack the motor up in order to, get a good size, a large tube header on a Chevy. Because they curve in, it takes up space, But with a Pontiac, because the head was already curved, the header was a lot easier to fit those 6 bolts on them,
I got a set of hypo heads for 289, and date coded correctly for his. He's got an early 65 hypo, 289 hypo fastback car. And he's he saw him, and man, he's been bugging the hell out of me, and I won't sell him to him because I know how bad he needs it. Until he pays my price.
Yeah,
because he can't. Come on.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I made enough mistakes over the years of giving away stuff for cheap, be a nice guy, and kick myself in the ass over it later. So. Yeah, these hypo heads came out of a machine shop. I was there to pick up my heads, and I said, "Oh, there's another set of heads there." The guy goes, "Yeah, the dirtbag hasn't come and picked them up. You want them?" And I was like, "Well, what do you do to them?" And he goes, "I just put some valves, some guides, and seals in." And I said, "Well, what do you want for him?" He goes, "Well, he owes me, $300 or whatever." I said, "Okay, here you go."
Cool.
And like I said, they're well worth more than that.
Oh yeah.
So closed chambered hypo heads. I don't know. Of course, nobody likes that old school stuff now, anyway.
Yeah.
So if it isn't a LS or a Coyote motor, nobody will talk to you, or they, all that stuff's been laying around forever. You can't get rid of. You can't even give that stuff away. Half that
old
stuff.
School, big cubic inch muscle.
Yeah, I said,
or a really well built small block, because they're just so much easier to fit in the car.
You probably deal with that, Justin. Nobody wants any of that old school stuff. They want the old school look, but they want today's technology.
Yeah, I mean, we do. Probably about half and half. I mean, we do a lot of engine swaps, a lot of LS, the Hemi swaps, and Coyote stuff. But it's kind of cool because we do a lot of restorations, a little bit older stuff too. So we get to hang on to all that kind of thing too.
I had a guy. He had a Comet, like a a drag, a gasser, fair, I don't know if it's a Comet or a Fairlane. I can't remember now, but he's got it's fuel injected, but it looks like the Hillborn with the stacks,
Yeah.
And we're sitting there talking. I'm looking at it, and he comes over, and of course I hate guys like this. It's like, look at me, and he's like, and I was like, it's too bad you can't have a real Hillborn. And he goes, looks at me, and I said that, injected bullshit. You just, you have the look. And he's like, well, what do you know about Hillborns? And I said, well, I got one. And I said, until you become a man and understand how it really works, I said, you can stick with your pussy injector and fuel injectors. He got a little mad at me about it, but they want that look, and I can understand they want the look and the reliability, but that takes all the fun out of it. Me personally, that takes the fun out of having a car. But
my friend Mike just texted me, Willwood tech support sucks. He's having problems. He's rebuilding his 71 Camaro, and he bought Willwood rear discs, and the caliper, that little dash 3 fitting you put in the caliper for the brake line. He's got a 90 on it, and it hits the shock absorber on a 70 to the second gen Camaros. You got one shock in the front of the axle and the other shock in the back of the axle, and you put the caliper mount on, and the port is right there, right aiming at the shock absorber. So you put a 90 on it, and it actually touches the shock. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then I said, did anybody ever, cut the housing ends off and not clock them properly? And he's like, I don't know. So I told him, I said, call Willwood. Maybe they've got, maybe you can move the caliper and put the caliper in the front, flip the brackets. So you put the caliper in the front of the wheel instead of in the back of the wheel.
Sure.
He goes, well, what about the shock on the other side? I don't know. Maybe one in the back and one in the front. Well, I don't know. He's like, you never ran across that problem? I said, every single car I ever put a set of Willwood brakes on had a narrowed rear.
Yeah. Coil springs on.
He goes, well, what about the Camaro you just built? I go, that had coilovers mounted behind the housing. He said it was nowhere near that. The caliper was nowhere near the shock absorber. I said, just call Willwood, see what they say. So he called him. He's like, they suck. I don't know. I don't have those problems. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
No issues.
Well,
I'm beat.
I think I'm going to take the garbage out and go to bed.
Yeah. I got to work for a couple of hours tomorrow, and then I'm done for the year.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to get ready for credit cards, and I got to finish up a few more.
I ran mine already.
Yeah. I got to finish up my inventory.
How far along are you?
I'm only on page 16 of, I don't know, 100 and something.
Oh my God. Yeah, see, that's something I don't have to do. I don't have to inventory anything.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow night's gonna be a long night. But I to be really honest, I mean, I can go a couple days in. I mean, it's not until I close the year out. It's just I don't like going too far over. I don't know. This year I got a little. I don't know why. Usually I do it during Thanksgiving weekend. I usually pretty much have more of that wrapped up, but I don't know. Didn't really plan on it this year or what. I don't know. It's just light a light a match and not worry about it anymore.
That's terrible.
I know. Had one of our gas stations caught fire in my route. Oh, my wife just sent me a clipping that they arrested a dude for arson.
Really?
So, yeah. So
I was just looking at the comments here. Somebody said they were talking about what's his name? He's got more cars and trucks than Rust Valley. Do you ever see that show, Rust Valley?
Yeah.
Those guys are crazy.
Talking about Arco. What are those last three? That Umayan Agnes?
Brent? I don't know.
And Daston Nakoni?
I don't know.
Jixi Muskov.
Those guys are from another country.
They probably got hacked in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what that is.
That's crazy stuff.
That's a hack stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't click on that.
Yeah, right. Don't click on any of that stuff.
Let's see.
It's not
I can block them. Block that one. We'll block this one.
See you later. They're disappearing as you do it.
Block that one.
There you go.
Okay, that's the other ones are all legit.
They're all legit.
The other ones are legit.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I don't know who Grace Nelson is, but it was like Vark.
VARC.tech.
Yeah, blocked. Goodbye.
That might have been legit.
I don't know.
Could be somebody that just, they listen, they see it, and then they watch. Who knows?
I don't know. It's all crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah,
well,
I got to go back and watch that show because I watched the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there was none left, and I know that they're back again.
Yeah.
That guy that owns all of that stuff, he reminds me of what's his face from Twisted Sister?
Dean Snyder.
D. Snyder.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
Got that crazy, like bleachy blonde.
Right.
Lots of hair, and he's always wearing weird sunglasses.
Right.
It's a sick show.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way they work. They work like such dirtbags.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's unreal. And the stuff they turn out is not anything special.
Right.
And HD TV will show you all of the sanding marks and mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when they did that? What was it? It was a red Mustang or a red Camaro for his son, I think. And they just slathered the Bondo on it, and you could see all these scratch marks in the paint. It's like it wasn't prepped before they painted it. And I'm like,
right.
Oh my God, this thing's horrible.
Yeah.
But he's got a TV show.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because after listening to what's his name, Phantom's work,
Dan Short.
Yeah, after listening to him and seeing and hearing a few things from Lou and all that, I haven't watched Motor Trend since. I mean, it's those guys. I mean, I haven't watched any of those car shows.
I watch all the stuff that Finnegan does.
I
like Roadkill. I like
his new show,
Hot Rod Garage. Finnegan, all the stuff Finnegan does. All the stuff. What's his face? The other guy, his partner there.
Freiberger.
Yeah,
him I don't watch.
Yeah,
I haven't watched any of that stuff.
No,
it's funny.
And I'll tell you what, I probably got like 20 episodes of all the Street Outlaws. There's like all different ones. There's the one that I went to over in Tennessee. And then you got the ones, the OKC guys, and then you got No Prep Kings. And I set up my DVR to record all that shit, and I just never watch it.
Oh, wow.
I just don't, I don't know. I got no time. I got so much going on. And now I'm watching a bunch of stuff on Apple TV. So I'm just like watching too much of other things lately. They got on Apple TV, they got a whole series, it's like a space series. It had 2 seasons. I'm waiting for the 3rd one to come out. and it's pretty accurate in terms of what they show of how NASA does everything, but the roles are reversed. The Russians were the first ones to the moon.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, wow, they and it's a lot of it is like so period correct. They show all the Apollo astronauts driving Corvettes, and they're the right Corvettes. There's 69, there's 70, there's 71, 68, 454 in them, convertibles. So they've all got the right stuff, Mustangs, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of footage from Houston. A lot of it takes place in Houston at Mission Control. There's a bunch of footage that's shot over at Cape Canaveral, and it's a good production. It's a drama, but it's a good production.
They had something on I can't remember what I was watching the other night. It was some news thing about space. Oh, they were talking about that Virgin guy and Bezos and Musk and all them. And they were laying this timeline thing out, and they said that they're not the only ones. They said there was some dude in China that's like pumping out these rockets just as fast as the other guys here, and sending people up there. And they said that they have plans for to land on the moon in 2023, I think it was. That they were so that's all we need is China to take over the moon too. Maybe somebody will eventually get there.
Well, you see, this show, it's called For All Mankind. Russia is on the moon. We're on the moon. They find out that there's a lot of a certain mineral that's really good all at the South Pole. So they both set up bases there, and America sets up a mining operation, and the Russians roll in there and basically take it over. And it takes a little while before we decide to get it back. And what our government does is they send a bunch of jar heads up there with guns. So now they've actually got guns on the moon. And it was weird because they were practicing and they had some targets set up. And it was like 5 astronauts, they got the full suits and everything, and they got these like AK-47s that they adopted the triggers and everything so they could use those big gloves. So they're going to do some target practice. So they got these targets set up, and the guy goes and he pulls the trigger on the rifle and he misses. So there's a female astronaut. She's like in charge of this shit. She goes, that would be the first bullet ever put in orbit. And they're all laughing. And she goes, if I were you, I would move over a couple of feet. And he's like, why? She goes, because that thing's going to be coming up around the back and it's going to hit you in the head. And he moves over. And she's like, I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
I was like, oh my God. Oh yeah, so like near like the last episode of the season, they wind up getting into a gun battle.
Yeah.
They shoot the freaking Russian guy right through the spacesuit.
In zero gravity.
No, well, it's low gravity. They're on the moon.
Yeah.
But yeah, zero gravity.
But in the meantime, you puncture the suit, the air comes out, you die.
Yeah.
Unreal. It's crazy. So some of that stuff is stupid, but I wouldn't put it past our government to put arms up on the moon if they could.
Yeah. So, but it was kind of interesting. I don't know. Like I said, they were talking about that, China and Russia, but China was the next really. I can't remember what the guy's name was or what the company was, but man, they were pumping out rockets just like Bezos and Musk.
My daughter Morgan said there's a really, really good show on Amazon about the last flight of the Challenger.
Oh yeah.
I gotta look that up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Amazon. She said.
Yeah, I don't have any of that stuff.
It's all part of my package, and then I got.
You have a pretty big package there, John.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? I've been told that before.
Yeah. Okay, cowboy.
Netflix. No, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this broadcast now.
Yeah.